I like
What's
that. I
going
like that
on to my
intro.
Dominican route family? You like that intro, brother?
Yes, yes, yeah. I almost got to start dancing. I was like, let me.
Hey, shout out to everybody. Shout out to my entire Dominican route family, man. We're gonna have a great show. We got a special guest in the house. His name is Lou. He has his own YouTube channel, the whole 9 yards. So, brother, let me send a couple shout outs real quick, and I'm gonna have you to introduce yourself. That's cool.
Okay, absolutely.
Cool. Shout out to Quan. What's going on, brother? Shout out to Miss Sharonda. Always good to see you, sister. Ed, shout out to my brother Ed Gray, the Commish Radio Show. Awesome brother in Dallas, Texas. I met a long time ago. Shout out to you, brother. I'll be seeing you soon in the Dominican Republic. Carl, what's going on, family? Always good to see you. Miss Sharonda says, "Hey, Lou."
Hey, Sharonda.
Yeah, man. So, all right. So, Miss Sharonda introduced me to you, man, and I know it's been a minute. I've been real busy, but I'm so glad to have you on the show. And tell us a little bit about yourself, brother.
Well, greetings, everyone. My name is Luap. From New York, Queens, New York, and I'm a traveler. I love to travel. Right now, I'm in Atlanta. I used to live in the Dominican Republic for about 6 months, half a year. And again, my thing is I love to learn. I'm a lifelong learner and I love to travel.
That's awesome, man. We talked for a while with me, you, and Miss Sharonda. We talked on the phone about your health journey, man. Tell us a little bit about that.
I don't know exactly where to start, but for me, the number one thing for me is I totally love and adore health. I love the benefits that come from being healthy, but it didn't just start here today. It started about 30 years ago. When I first started dibbling and dabbling with giving things up, taking different poisons and toxins and foods that don't belong into the body out of the body. And I started
Right.
to realize the results little by little by little until I got to this energetic ball of a being that you see before you. Like my energy is always sky high. My health is always good. I haven't been sick in over 10 years. So I mean, it's something that thank you, man. Like it's something that
Awesome, bro.
I would not trade for anything in the world.
Let me ask you this. I always go back to my. I'm not trying to make it about me, but
Mm-hmm.
I've dealt with a lot of nerve damage from my assault back in 2015. You think if I start eating right and get cut, I drink beers every now and then, but you think I'll cut back? If I cut back on that stuff, you think it'll help out with my nerve damage and my bad muscle spasms?
So, I definitely think good health will absolutely help. Absolutely, no question. I would definitely add a few elements to that. First, let's start with what you're putting in your body. You want to eat as pure as you possibly can on a daily basis, starting with fruits and vegetables. You right there in the Dominican Republic, that will absolutely help. And
So
then,
you pretty much, yeah, you pretty much saying, Coach John, you ain't got no excuse. You need to get your stuff together. You got fruits and vegetables right there in the DR.
you right there. You where I'm trying to get back to,
Yeah.
so you definitely utilize some of the fruits that you have over there, starting with coconut water, watermelon juice, cucumber
We
juice, stuff
talked
like
about Wanava. Me and you talked about Wanavana yesterday.
right, the
Yeah.
guanabana. Oh my gosh, that is absolutely good for you in a lot of ways. I mean, that helps more so with fighting diseases, but with your nerves, what you want to do is just start to replenish the body. Replenish the
Hmm.
body as best as you can with hydration and vitamins and minerals. Then
Right.
spend some time in the ocean. That salt water is a
Mhm.
absolute healer. So try to
You ever heard? I heard that before. Nikki, you ever heard that before too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good for the skin, man. That natural sea salt, right? It
uh-huh.
exfoliates your skin. It is great for the hair. Oh my god, it makes hair so soft. So
hmm
yeah, yep, I've heard that.
I'll say this. I know a lady. She's Jamaican,
hmm
and she said that she went into the ocean every day. She was raped by three guys, and and she said her body healed faster and it cleared her mind up. She said in Jamaica, she said to cleanse your body, and after she went through that terrible ordeal by being raped by 3 guys, she said cleansing her body in the ocean really helped her out.
Yeah. And I'm sure it helped cleanse her spirit and her soul as well. You know what I mean? Get that energy off and out of her. You know, you're surrounded by 3 major elements at the beach. You got the sun, you got the air, and you got the water. Those are the 3 most powerful elements that you could possibly surround yourself around and be in it as much as possible. It helps to heal almost anything.
That's awesome, brother. Man, we gonna definitely do. We gonna jump on the topic, but we definitely gonna bring you back on, and we're gonna talk about the healthy part and getting ourselves together.
Absolutely.
Getting me together. I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm sorry, Nick. I said ourselves. Like Nikki, you gotta get yourself together too.
No. Oh no. Listen, I do have to get myself together, and I've been doing some things these past 3 days health wise. I'll talk about that off camera, but yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff.
Good. All right, so let's jump into the topic. So I don't know if you guys. So today's topic is how to avoid credit card fraud and debit card fraud and getting scammed overseas, just in general, just not the Dominican Republic, but in general. Shout out to Pimp Boy. Shout out to Junior. Let's see. John, send the link. I thought I sent you the link, brother. Let me send Junior the link. Junior is somebody that's always on the channel also. I'm going to shoot you the link right now. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about it a little bit. Miss Jones, shout out to you. She said, hey, Nikki. Hey, Coach. Brooklyn, Nomad. Hello, family. What's going on to all the Route family? Shout out to you, brother. Carl says, very true, brother. Carl is like one of the biggest ones on our Dominican Route family, man. And he'll be really soon. He already has a house here, but engaged. So, all right, credit card fraud. And so my buddy that's a part of the Dominican Route family, his name is anyway, I wanted to say this. You know, one person that's really fat that's not on the channel is Rico. He really needs to focus on losing. Oh, hey, hello, Rico.
Oh, you talking about the other Rico? Okay, I know you ain't talking about this Adonis.
We was talking about how healthy you was and all of that stuff, man. That's what we was.
This is all I need, a shot a day. Keep the doctor away. That's all I need.
I was saying nothing but positive stuff right before you got on there about you, bro.
Of course. Hey, Junior, how you doing, sir? Oh, and let me just say this. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Yep.
Cinco de Mayo to all our Mexican subscribers, if we have any. You know, this is their. It's really weird. It's not even their Independence Day, but you know, we celebrate. You know, we Americans. Any fucking excuse to drink.
That's right. Yeah.
But it is Cinco de Mayo. So a lot of the Mexican businesses are doing great money. So, you know, I want to.
Hey, man, Lou, how long did you live before we jump into the topic? How long did you live in the DR?
In total, about 6 months.
Okay, what area?
I was in Santo Domingo, ay santo.
Awesome, man. That's what's up. That's where Junior lives there, and that's where I live as well. Yeah. So so let's jump into it, man. We had one of our Dominican Route families. He got, I don't know if he got scammed. I don't know what happened, but all really hustled up and just kept hitting those people at the airport and said, hey, this man needs a refund. This man needs a free fund. And his bank did not want to refund the money to him. So I'm so glad he just got his money back, but it took about 7 or 8 weeks. And his bank was like, no, everything looks like it's good. It checked out. So we had to really hit the company and let them know, like, hey, we getting ready to tell everybody that y'all stole $1,200. And then the corporate office called us back and they said, hey, we're going to straighten this out. And they got everything straight and he got his refund. But we stayed on top of him. So what y'all think about that? Was that did somebody steal some money? Was it a mistake? What you think happened with that? And that was a big company.
Yeah, the company, I want to add this. That company is technically a worldwide company, actually. So yeah.
Right. It's a worldwide company, Nikki. Yeah. So I mean, how could you make, but he got a receipt for $14, but his credit card was charged $1,200. So what you think that was about, Junior, Rico? What y'all think that?
I would think they manipulated the system, if anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like it. But how did they get the money and put the money in their pocket?
But see, but that's weird though. Then that means if he got a receipt for $14, he got somebody else's receipt.
Oh,
because you know what I'm saying? That they may have given him a prior 14. Like, say for example, someone came into the duty free earlier, actually bought the cup and paid $14 because the receipt doesn't have your name on it, and really, it don't even have all your credit card numbers on it. It usually only have like the last 4. So I guess when you're looking at your receipt, you need to really pay attention to see if that's your credit, the last 4 your credit card numbers. Probably if he looked at that $14 receipt, that wasn't his credit card number. It may someone else may have purchased that cup.
Right.
They gave him that receipt and then ran his for the higher amount.
I never even thought about that, Rico. You a little special needs, but not always special needs. That was good.
I just look stupid. But I mean, that's if you think about it, that is something that's like been going on in my much younger days when I used to work in retail. We ran a few scams here and there.
Yep, we got you on recording. Go ahead, keep going. Keep going.
That retail operation is out of business. So they long ago, So they were stealing anyway. So they were stealing. We stole a little bit too. But people do that. If you run, a lot of times people leave their receipts behind. Do you want a receipt? Yes. No. So you pull it out and then you got it right here. So later
especially when they're running late.
You can pull that receipt up.
That's true, Nikki. Nikki said, especially when they're running late. Like, you at the airport, you just trying to get your stuff and go.
Yeah, I'm always saying, do you want the receipt? And I'm always telling them no. But basically, I'm leaving them my receipt to give to someone else if they wanted to, if they bought a similar item and then ran their card for a different amount.
Domingo was thinking about they charged $14 and then wrote themselves a $1,200 tip on.
No way in hell. Because typically now I would say this: if I was the guy, I wouldn't be with that fucking bank no more.
Right.
I immediately would not be with that bank anymore. I don't know what bank it is. They can go to hell.
Yeah, the bank said everything looks legit and you will not be getting a refund and we will not give you a credit.
I'll be done with what I don't care what that bank says, I would be done with that bank. Period. Right. My bank don't roll like that. If I dispute a charge, the charge is to be disputed. Period.
Listen, I was frustrated with that as well because, I was a part of the process of trying to help get the money back. I went to the airport, talked to these guys. I explained, all of the situation. And when I saw the paperwork that he showed John and I was furious because I'm like, whoa. How was it that they just agreed to pay this? How could they not know that there's no way that this guy 5 minutes before getting on a plane made a $1,200 purchase or whatever the exact amount was? Like, come on, man. That's ridiculous. Like, I feel like they definitely should have fought for him. And I'm like you, Rico. I think I would probably leave as well because it's like, we're the Americans here. We know the system and we know when something's weird, but because, you have sometimes where, especially your first time traveling out of the country, they'll be real quick to not let you buy stuff or get your money. You know what I mean? That the bank will stop a $2 purchase but they're sitting here letting a $1,200 purchase. Like, something's not adding up. I mean, it's unprofessional.
I would really be done with the bank because I've disputed charges that was like 30 days old.
Right.
When I look at it, I'm like, hey, I don't remember this shit. And they're like, okay, we got to do an investigation. And it typically takes about 10 days.
Right.
That's why I said 7, 8 weeks, and you not allowing me to dispute it.
Yeah, he disputed what I remember what happened. He disputed it. They gave him his $1,200 back, and then they took his $1,200 back when they reviewed it, and then that's when we had to go to the
I'd be done with that bank.
They reneged, right? What happened was, and I read the paperwork, like I said, and that, again, that's a good reminder, John. Right. That's what pissed me off, because the writing was like, we have found no wrong charge here, no wrongdoing. And I'm like, are you guys retarded? Like, what do you mean found? Who do you have working over there? Inspector Gadget? I mean, what is happening here?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Rob says when I'm gonna let Lou comment on this, but Rob says when you buy from duty free, they always ask for passports. I never knew that. Those numbers are on your paperwork. Someone in management in the airport and was involved for sure. Go ahead, Lou.
I was actually gonna say similar, because I was thinking maybe they when they ran it, they took a copy of the credit card and then used it on the side for something else. You know, old school scams, old school scam, like before all the technology came out. As long as you have the numbers, you could pretty much purchase whatever you want up until they shut the credit card down.
That's a good point. That's a good point. They have
a picture of it also.
Yeah. Take a picture of it. Yeah.
That's what they do here in the gas stations.
Yeah.
So when you go to gas stations, always use your credit card or your debit card. Always look at that bank teller. That gas station person when he's taking your card.
And that is a fact.
Like, oh, the scanner, I gotta go over there. No, you do it right in front of my face where I'm able to see.
And if you buy something from duty free and they don't ask you for your passport, be concerned, because they must ask for your passport. And the biggest reason is duty free stuff is tax free.
Okay.
You don't pay taxes on duty free stuff. And a lot of times, like if you stop to buy alcohol before you go to the States, it's 50-50. Sometimes they'll let you take it to the plane. I've been where I was leaving the DR, you pay for it, you give them your airline, and they deliver it to the plane for you.
Oh, okay.
So it could be either or, but they always require your passport, because you're not paying taxes on the alcohol, because you're taking it out of the country. So you're not purchasing it coming in, you're purchasing it to go out and things like that. So that's one thing. And the thing is, I will tell you also about, because it happened to me a couple of times in the DR. And the thing about it is, I guess they got I don't know how the fuck they got it. They have these scanners where you walk by and they get it out your wallet.
Yeah.
They actually do. And I'm like, I did not pull my credit card out at all, but then I had charges. And what they do is they can pull the information, magnetic scanners, and they sold it to some criminal organization in Russia. And I saw like this tax charge. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I didn't use TurboTax, blah, 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 blah. And my bank said they'll put across a small charge to see if you say anything and notice it. And if you don't, later on, then they start hitting your ass with bigger charges on your account. So you really got to.
Haitian government says don't buy from duty free. It's actually more expensive. Go to local liquor stores.
Yeah, the duty free is just tax free. That's the biggest thing about it. It's like you don't pay taxes, as opposed to if you go in the country, you pay taxes.
But John, what was the outcome then of the case? Sorry.
They gave him a refund. The corporate office sent me and Nikki and everybody a letter, and then we sent it to him. And then they said your money will be in your account in the next week or two. And it was. But it took 7-8 weeks for him to get his money back.
Yep.
Yeah. But they apologized. They said they accidentally hit the wrong button and took the money out.
That's more than one button.
Exactly. That was a couple of buttons.
Yeah.
A couple of extra digits.
That's a fucking lie.
Yeah, that's
it is a lie because no matter how you try to flip it, it doesn't make any sense. Like you know that very rarely are you typing in that many digits when you're charging somebody. You're not even typing in 4 digits. You understand?
Yep.
It's typically.
And I want to say, family, check your receipt, but apparently he did. So I can't blame him for it because he checked his receipt, and the receipt he was given was the right amount. Now ask him if he go back and look at that receipt, see if the credit card numbers on that receipt, and because I don't usually look at it.
Oh, Nikki said, remember Nikki, he said he had his receipt. He was walking to the airplane and he was getting ready to get on his plane, and he checked his bank account and it said negative $1,200. And
right, but what I'm saying is he but the receipt was only for $14, right?
That's right.
But what I'm saying is, if he still has that receipt, tell him look at the numbers that was charged, the credit card number. I bet you it doesn't match up with his account. They gave him an old receipt.
I don't think on that receipt that information was on there, and that was part of what the confusion was. That receipt was missing so much information, and I know that was one of the issues that the bank had with it, because they're like, this isn't even making any sense. This receipt does not show enough proof of what happened. I mean, none of this makes sense.
All your receipts is supposed to have what they'll have, like, your credit card number is like 16 numbers. They will X out the first 12 and only the last 4 shows.
Right.
So X, and then the last 4 of your credit card numbers is what print. If that doesn't match up with his credit card on that receipt, they gave his ass an old receipt. They gave him somebody else's and then took his information and then ran it.
And remember, Nikki, the receipt they gave him, it was torn in half. It was a little piece of receipt.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I would say this going forward. Yeah. Make sure you check your receipt, obviously, and then make sure it has the last 4 digits. It should always have your credit card, the card that you use. It should always have it. Pull that shit up, look at your credit card, and make sure that receipt has to. Now there's one other way they can still get your ass. They could run it twice.
Right.
So I'm not saying this. I want us to do the best we can, but hopefully you watching them and you see them only run it once. I'm just trying to think of whatever, but of course they could like swipe it for 14 and then swipe it for 12, and then if you're not looking, like say at a restaurant or somewhere where they take your card and then come back with it, where you don't see, where it's outside of your physical custody. Yeah, if it's in your physical custody, watch their ass, swipe it one time, and you just really have to, because they be getting our asses. I'm sorry.
But look, here's another suggestion. This is what I do. Like, I've never had any credit card fraud go on while I was abroad or nothing like that. But every time I go to Dominican Republic, I only use my Cash App card, and I usually keep less than $100 on it. So when the $100 goes down, I just put another 100. And go back and put another 100. So like that, I never even thought of any credit card situations because I always do it like that, and I never have no problem. So, maybe that could be an idea for some people.
Hey, that's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
Now I'll say I'll tell you first and foremost, for the most part, take fucking cash.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's the safest of the safest, but sometimes it can't be helped. So I'm not piling on anybody. Sometimes it can't be helped, but
let me add to that. I realized that at one point I was being charged about $200 per month in fees for taking money out of the ATM, and I have Wells Fargo. I did not realize that every time I was taking any amount of money out, that Wells Fargo was charging me $5, and then the ATM was charging me 300 pesos, which is technically $5 and some change. So every time throughout the week,
$10.
I'm going,
$10.
Sometimes I was going 2 and 3 times a day if I didn't take out enough money. So when you're saying take out the cash, there are two things that I'm going to do going forward. I am absolutely getting an account in the DR because I'm tired of paying any kind of a fee when I take it out. Mm-hmm. That's one. The second thing I'm doing is on my way there, I'm going to have cash on me, like you said, because if I need to take from an ATM, it's going to be my personal ATM. And that's, I'll leave that money at my place locked up. Mm-hmm. And that's just going to be that.
I like that, Nikki. That's a good point. Lou and Nikki, y'all gave two good points. Hey, Carl. Hey, man, how you doing, brother? Good to see you.
Happy Cinco de Mayo, Carl.
Hey, good.
With your black Mexican ass.
All right, yeah, man.
With your black Mexican on.
I like it. Yeah. Hey, looking good, man. Looking good, brother. Don't be hating. Don't be hating. Hey, man, tell us your
Carl Valdez. I'm gonna call you Carl Valdez.
Carl Valdez.
Hey, tell us your story about what you went through, brother.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, right. The only place I've been to ever outside the country was Dominican Republic, and I just never went anywhere else other than that until the last 3 years I started traveling. However, I never used my credit card outside the country. I did use it one time in Dominican Republic when I went to Punta Cana and got a timeshare at the Hard Rock, but that was it. But then about a couple years later or so, now I keep all my credit cards. I don't know if you guys see this before. This is touching what Rika was saying, how you got to protect your credit card because they can scan you, right? So it's good to have something like this, put all your stuff in there to protect anybody from scanning because it stops those scanning from happening.
Yeah. I got to get one.
So I got to get one of them.
I got to get one. They done fucked me twice.
Yeah. So anyway, long story short, I don't know how this happened, and that's why it had to be an inside job. This credit card right here got a Verizon credit card. Never ever used it for. Never ever used it before. Never took it out the house or to travel anywhere outside the country. It always stayed here in this case. Always. Never took it out. Then one day I get this statement in the mail or alert saying that the card was charged $50, $60 for some I can't remember what it was, something. Guess where? You never guess where at.
Probably Japan, probably Nigeria or Africa somewhere.
No, it was actually in the Philippines. I said, Philippines? What? I never been to no Philippines. I don't know nobody in no Philippines. I don't know where they charge my credit card. I didn't get this charge that came from the Philippines. I said, I've never been anywhere. So I got on the phone, man, and I called that bank so fast. I said, Bryson, listen, I did not make that charge. First of all, I never used the card, never ever used it. I never even took it out. Like, how did that happen? So the only thing I can think, they can tell me, well, sir, we see it as a fraud alert, so we'll look into it, we'll investigate into it. But once they did an investigation, which took about 10 days or so, they put the money back on the card and so forth, and, dismissed me from the charges. But at the end of the day, I come to conclude that it had to be an inside job because I don't know no other way how in the world that happened. It had to be someone either as an employee at Verizon or someone just say, hey, let's just take his card and let's just charge something, whatever. I don't know. But you got to be very careful with your stuff, man. That's what I say. I recommend anybody get one of these, man, because they'll protect you from that scan or anyone if you got your cards with you. But it's just some crazy stuff out here. People doing all kinds of things to get your information, man. You got to be very careful.
Just to go with what Carl said, go back to Quan's comment because that's what it's called. The RFID, John, put that. That's what they use. It's radio frequency. I forgot what the ID stands for, but they literally have machines. They can walk by you past and it'll read through your purse, your wallet, your pants, everything, unless you have what Carl has, because then it can't read through that.
Oh, wow.
So that's what it is. It's literally, this is how good these motherfuckers are getting. And then they can steal your numbers. They can either figure out the security code or maybe they can steal that too. And what they do is, even if they don't use it in the DR, then they take all these numbers and they sell them to Nigerians and Russians, these criminal global rings who then make fake cards. They call them clone cards. They will clone your credit card and then be using, and mostly what they use it for is online. Yeah. Now they take your credit card information and they go online and they purchase shit. So even though you didn't be in the Philippines, they use it to order food, order groceries, whatever the case may be. And I mean, yours might have been an inside job because obviously you said you didn't have it where it could be scanned, but that's what they're doing. Right. You have to have that kind of wallet to protect it. But these motherfuckers are just...
Where you get that wallet from, Carl? Is it Amazon?
Yeah, Amazon sell them. A lot of places sell them.
Office Depot, you can go to Office Depot, any place like that, they sell these things. You know, Staples, they sell them too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the exact name. Carl, give us the name of yours that you got.
This one is called Samsonite, and you can find this. They sell these things in Home Depot, Staples, like that. You can get it and look in the travel section, and you'll find them there.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, because I don't have one yet. Obviously, I need to get one. They got me fucking twice. I'm telling you, they got me twice, and I know I didn't use my card. I know I didn't pull it out, but I'm like, I went somewhere and these motherfuckers scanned me again. And, you know, but I got a good bank. So the good thing about it is my bank, a couple of days later, came back, reversed the charges and said, yeah, we get this a lot. Because it's a common occurrence. It's more common than what you think.
It is.
And the banks are losing billions of dollars on it. You know, what the fuck can you do?
Hey, so you keep cash in your pocket, right, Rico?
I try to, but sometimes, like I said, before I go to the DR, I always take out a certain amount of cash. Mostly I take out like a lot of small bills anyway for tipping, because I like to tip in them there. So I'm like,
next time you go to the Dominican Republic in Santo Domingo, let me know so I can tell one of my partners to clip you, and then we're gonna split it in half.
They won't get my head. But I try to, but I sometimes obviously I can't help it. If I'm overspending at the bar, whatever, I run out of my money. Mama won't give me no more money. I gotta use my card. So then it's like it is what it is. You taking your chances. You hope you dealing with somewhere, but you don't know what these motherfuckers look like. It be women, it be men, it be kids. You don't know who doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So
and somebody else made a good point when they were saying, you know, to always use a credit card instead of a debit card, because it is easier to dispute that, because with a debit card, you got to remember that's your money to pay your bills. Like that's real cash money. So it would be better if you're disputing that with the credit card companies, and they'll fight for you, I feel like, quicker and easier than the bank will. So
and let me say this, Rick James, you absolutely right. Cash cannot be reimbursed if you rob. That's why I keep my scared ass in Punta Cana. So
come on,
I ain't gotta worry about
come on, Rico, you gotta go out to the hood too. Come on,
yeah.
Come on, you gotta get out.
I send you and Coach to the hood. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, Rico,
come to my hood. My hood is safe.
Yeah, right. Okay. I'm gonna say you meet me at the Punta Cana city line.
But Rico, he wanted them uppity Negroes.
Yeah, but what Rick James is saying is true. It is absolutely true, you know. But I definitely try to use my common sense and not venture to places where that's a high risk. I only venture to places where it's a low risk of that happening. It can happen in my fucking house, but I mean, I can't mitigate 100%. But the fact of the matter is, I would say this for most of us. And if somebody robbed me, I'm gonna give up the fucking cash. I'm gonna give it up there just like I give it up here. Fuck it, I can replace the money. But my thing is, it's for me in this situation. I think back on it. It starts with your banking institution. Make sure you bank with a good bank, because most banks will take your side at a minimum, because they know when you go overseas. Like I have to put even to use my card, I have to put an international travel notice. They ask me when I'm going, what's my dates of travel, what country am I going to? So if my card gets you, if I say the DR and my card comes up somewhere else, they refuse to charge. It only should be used where I said I'm at.
Right.
And if I run into any problem when I call my bank because of the account I got, they automatically like, okay, Mr. Young, we're going to freeze your card. We're going to dispute a new card to be going out immediately. They do all those things. So if you don't have a bank in America, and most of them do it, that's not doing that as a minimum, get rid of that fucking bank. Get rid of that bank. We got 1,000 fucking banks in America. Go to the next one. Bank of America, Wells Fargo. Too many banks to stay with one. Because I really feel bad about the guy that was left in this situation. I don't know what bank it was, but I know I'm mad at the bank, and I don't even know who the fuck it is.
Right.
Wasn't it like a Navy
credit,
something?
It was a credit union. Yeah.
See, they should have took his side and said, hey, we're going to, as long as he was just, because unless they can prove that you were scamming, and it's like, who the fuck gonna try to charge something and scam the bank? I'm not going to jail for bank fraud. That's bank fraud.
Mm-mm.
Who the fuck gonna do that?
Right.
Another precaution we take too. Another precaution we can take too on the credit cards, particularly your debit cards. If you got online banking, you can also lock your credit card too. Mm-hmm. All you gotta do is online and just lock it. That way nobody can't use it or do anything with it.
Some of them you can lock. Some of them I know some. I don't know how to do it. You can lock it, unlock it, and use it, and lock it right back.
Yeah, here in DR too. My credit card, I can lock it right from the app.
The app.
Yeah,
yep.
you can.
The app.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going in the stores, unlock, use the motherfucker, and lock it again.
Yeah.
So get one of those.
Right.
These are just some ideas.
Yeah, they didn't have that back in 1940 when you was born, Rico. But
yeah, I know, but I know about it now. Fuck you. But I heard about it. So, but I mean, that's a good, it's a good thing, because I mean, nobody wants to be, and you out of your money. And when he said 7-8 weeks, I was like,
yeah, it's a pain in the butt.
Whoa,
yeah, that's crazy. And then the crazy part about it, he said they gave him his money.
You went out.
And then took it back.
Right.
I think his power went out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hey, so hey Carl, thank you so much for that pointers. But what's some other good pointers that we could do to make sure when when we come here to not make sure we don't have any credit card fraud?
I think it's one thing we all said without saying it, and I'm gonna say it again. Try to minimize your credit card usage. So I'm not saying just don't be fucking going store to store to store to store to store. It's like, okay, minimize your credit card usage.
And only use one.
Yes, that's another great point.
That's a good point, Lou.
That's an excellent point. Use the same one because we're talking about mitigating risk.
Yep.
Perfect.
You got enough cash for the whole time you're here.
That's
right.
You calculate. Let's say I'm spending 1,000 pesos a day. Let me take out for the whole week, and that's it. That's what you're going to spend.
Yep.
Hey,
so everybody travels different, but the bottom line is when we travel, we're at risk.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at walking targets.
Very.
So, and if it happens to you, you are the victim. You don't need to feel ashamed or bad because I don't care what all these precautions we're talking about. They still can get your ass. They good.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers is good. They're good.
They can get
very good.
Yeah, but these are things you can do to minimize your risk and increase your chances of fuck trying to catch them. Ain't gonna be no catching them justice. Fuck that. But getting your losses back. So that's the way I look at it. Okay, PNC, who I bank with, or Wells Fargo, you motherfuckers got billions of dollars. Y'all take the loss. I can't afford it. Give me my fucking money back.
Right. Hey, Rob says they even have a bag. I'm trying to click on it. So they have a. Why is it not working?
I don't know.
But
you're right. There.
Rob says you also get a
Faraday bag.
Yeah, to protect your cards. I don't know what that is. You ever heard of that?
Yeah, it's another one of those bags that prevent them scanners from penetrating.
Oh, so it's just a big thing.
It's like the wallet, but instead of the wallet, it's the whole bag. I think it had like some sort of like even before they came up with those wallets, like Carl was talking about, I think people used to be wrapping their cards in aluminum foil, shit like that.
Yeah.
These are things
like they're going to Mars.
Yeah, well,
right.
It interferes with radio frequency.
Yeah, we great. The NFC.
And we got to realize now, all of our cards now, whether it's a debit card or a bank or a credit card, they all have chips. And these chips are radio frequency shit.
Exactly.
Right. Wow.
You're trying to block them from getting in your shit.
Yeah. So what's the other ways you can get scammed in overseas when you here?
Of course, I tell you, the restaurants, you give them the card, they take the because they did that here. And here's the thing: that's something that was. I'm here in DC. That was very big, even here in DC at one point at one of the very high-end restaurants. It was a restaurant called Morton's, right? Morton's Steakhouse, and it's like this is where all these millionaires go to eat dinner for this little nasty ass food, $500 fucking steak dinner. But what was happening was the waiters and waitresses was taking these rich white people credit card and they would go back there and swipe it, but then they would also give it to somebody and they would scan a copy. Remember, they can make clone credit. They give you your credit card back. They can clone it, make an exact duplicate of your credit card.
That's crazy.
They were selling, or sometimes they would just sell the numbers. Some of them are so good. All they need is the number. It's 16 digits credit card number.
That's
it. So the 16 digits, and then your security code. If you just wrote that shit down on a piece of paper, I go online and Amazon the fuck out.
Yeah.
But that's a real thing, and a lot of people went. So the same way they've even done it here in the state, because that's happened here in the state. They tend to go after people with high credit balances, and you a millionaire, you don't notice somebody ordered some shit for $300 on Amazon. I'm gonna notice, and you gonna notice. But a millionaire, that's a $10 charge to him. They hit these types of card holders, travelers, and you know who they are based on where they're at. If they're at a Ruth Chris or a Morton's or one of these high-end restaurants, these motherfuckers got money.
I wanted to just add quickly, another little tip is when you're out at a restaurant or you're out at a swimming pool or anywhere that you're paying cash for something. I had it happen to me one time where I was out with my fiance and I was trying to be, culturally nice or like, oh, okay, whatever. And this was like my first time, not my first time, but like my second or third time over there. And the guy took my money and held it for like an hour. And I'm like, how long do I need to wait for my freaking change? And my fiance kept telling me, oh, don't worry about it. Just leave it alone. And I was like, nah, because you didn't pay for it and you don't have any money. So we're not doing that. Let me go get my money. Okay. So I went and I took myself right on over there and I said, hey, buddy, can I get my change? Like, what's the problem? An hour? So I said that to say this. Don't try to be sweet. Get your freaking money because they don't care. They'll keep your money.
Oh yeah, they will. So that's what they tried to do. They just tried to keep it so you can just forget about it.
Yep. Because they could see him telling me, just leave it alone. They saw him doing that.
Right.
They get me like that all the time in the DR. They just slow coming back with my change.
Yes.
I'm like, fuck it. I mean, they just be slow with it. I'm like, all right, fuck it, let's go.
They do
like that all the time.
They do it on purpose. You think, Rico?
I know they do. They do. And I realize in this way, right? So when you hear people in the travel community always crying about foreigners overspending, over tipping, I'm that guy. I'm the guy that over tips because I don't give a fuck. I don't see in the USA we have a 20%. I just I just came from El Salvador, yelling and screaming at my wife and her family. They're like, Rico, it's 10% on the check. I don't give a fuck. Give them another 10.
Great video, by the way. I love that part.
Yeah, so it's like it frustrates me because I'm literally telling them I don't believe that if I tip 20% here and I'm conditioned to that when I go somewhere else, I should be any different.
Yep.
Right.
I agree.
just don't.
Especially when the service is good. My thing,
I don't give a shitty. I tip 20% for shitty service in America because it's America, and if you don't, you got to fight a motherfucker. You know, in America, they expect 20% because we don't pay them. And I'm like, so I'm already like I told my, and you know what the biggest reason is? I was a tip server before.
Yep.
And I will never forget that shit. And I tell my wife, I had 5 kids, and I worked a full-time job and went and waited tables at night. And I would sit down at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And when I would sit on that bar stool, my legs wouldn't stop convulsing from me walking and running so motherfucking much, aching and hurting. And I said, I will never, ever do that shit again. So it's seared in my soul.
I can understand 20%.
That. So
well, let me.
I could save money in the DR, but I'm like, I don't care.
Let me ask you this then, Rico, because this is what happened to me about 2 weeks ago. I went to this place, and I'm like you. I love to overtip, especially if I have it to do it. But I went to this place, and I ordered mofongo. No, it was not mofongo. It was
chicharrón.
No, not chicharrón. What's the mashed? What's the mashed plantains that look like mashed potatoes?
Mango.
Yeah, when I ordered mango. Okay. And if you guys have ever had mango, you know it's delicious when it's hot and mushy and like all like that. But cold, you can't eat that cold with your cebolla on top and the thing. This lady brought me a cold plate of mango.
Wow.
And I said to her, y'all can't warm it up. And my fried egg was cold too. I said, y'all don't even have a microondas. You don't have a microwave.
For me. I'm sorry.
Yo, it was a problem, bro. She came back with an attitude like, nah, I can't. And I was like, oh, cool. In my mind, I'm like, no tip for you, bro. Then it was a problem when I ordered water. It was a problem when I asked for a to-go plate. Then she came, boxed up the cold food, and took it behind the bar. I'm like, what are you doing?
Right. So now
tip. It didn't happen.
I'll say this. Hearing your story, I understand. But I do. I really do. Now, I do complain about my service, and I send shit back to the kitchen or management, whatever. Not frequently, but if I get bad service, I'm gonna bring it to somebody's attention. But I will also say, in my 59 years on this earth, I've never had service so egregious that I couldn't tip. I've never had it that bad. But I'm not a very demanding patron when I go into a restaurant.
Neither am I.
I know, but I'm sitting there saying, but then I also, as John say, my bougie ass, I ain't going to a whole lot of places where that's going to be a high propensity of that happening because they charge more. So at places that charge more for you to eat, the service tends to be better. Now, if I go to a $2 place, okay, I'm going to get $2 service and then I'm going to feel a certain kind of way. And since I don't even want to feel a certain kind of way, I'm not fucking going there. I'm just not. So that's all I'm saying. But I wouldn't tip disrespect. So if you're going to bring me cold food, I'm not going to tip disrespect. I just don't go to places generally where they just, and I'm not saying really high end. It's just like, okay, you motherfuckers charge. So I want good service as soon as I come in. And if I walk into a place and I'm there more than a couple of minutes and they haven't brought me something to drink, then I leave. I just get up and leave. Wife, come on, let's go. But if you bring me drinks while you're waiting to take my order, okay, I'm good. Just give me my first gin and tonic. I'm good.
I mean, it was for me the first time that I had ever had someone be that blatantly disrespectful. I mean, normally when I eat there, whether I'm eating on the street or whether I'm eating in a nice restaurant, is genuinely and generally great service. So I just was so put back by her behavior and I just could not believe it. And I mean, even me asking for a fork, I'm like, well, can I at least have a fork to eat my cold food? Like, this is crazy. And again, I was met with attitude. I'm like, you know what? Nah, just box mine up. I'll warm it up when I get to the house because I'm not going to deal with this.
Now, let me say this, and everybody pick on me about it, but I don't eat street food at all. in any
I
country.
don't blame you. I
don't eat it in the U.S. either because I just don't trust it.
Real quick before we get back on topic, Lou, do you eat street food?
Not at all.
Got your ass. That's why you fat.
I mean,
that's why you fat.
There's several reasons for that, but outside of health,
tell me.
When you get food from somebody, a major ingredient to the food is, did they cook it with love, or did they cook it with all the anxieties that they're going through from the stress of their day? That transpires into the food. And that alters the taste, that alters how it affects the body and stuff like that. So that's one reason why I don't like to eat from people who I don't know, or if I don't know what kind of day you're having.
Right.
That's one.
Let me give you the real truth as to why I don't. It's hygiene.
That's another.
And the reason why, I'm be honest with you, I was like in my 20s. And I was working federal government downtown DC. And the meal I used to eat, I'm talking about, I ate this shit for close to 10 years for lunch every day. We would, lunchtime, let's go down to the hot dog truck and get a half smoke or a hot dog. It would be like $2.
Dirty water hot dog.
For a soda, some potato chips, and a fucking half smoke or a hot dog. Oh, put some ketchup and mustard and some relish and all that shit on it, right? I mean, for almost 10 years, I ate this shit for lunch. And a guy opened my mind and said, they in that motherfucker all day, and they don't have a bathroom or a sink.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Ain't no bathroom, and they can't wash your hands.
Not to mention, sometimes, like for example, I like
from 10 years I've been eating this shit. Oh God, I'm gonna die.
Let's say Lou.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna say, not to mention, like I like to eat fish when I'm in Boca Chica, when I'm in the Dominican Republic, because it's a lot fresher there than it is here. But most of the places that you go to, there's 1,000 flies buzzing over the food.
Yeah.
And every time they land, they defecate, right? And vomit and lick on it. It's like, can you imagine all of that combined?
And I'm not saying
all doing it at the same time.
And I'll say the more modern, I'll end it at this: the more modern food trucks are better. So I'm not knocking them, but I'm just sitting there saying it scarred my mental at that point. It really did, to the point where like I am terrified of eating street food.
Every time I pass by my place, now I'm gonna be like, dang, what Lou said and what Nikki said, and
you ask me, where do you go to the bathroom, and if the motherfucker pull up a bucket, because it's inside because those hot dog stands is a little cart.
I got your point, Rico. All right, that's enough. That's enough.
Big as a phone booth. Where the fuck you going to the bathroom at?
Rico, that's why in New York we call them dirty water hot dogs.
That's why you can't find New York hot dogs nowhere else.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I used to be like, oh, they good. They good.
Finger licking good.
I used to love them. Them. So back to the topic.
Okay, so what's some other things that we can really focus on to tell people when they come here? Hey, let me ask you this, Lou. Have you ever been to another country besides the Dominican Republic?
Absolutely. Altogether, I've been to 8 countries. So I've been to Belize, Canada, Haiti, Colombia, Panama, Jamaica, Bahamas.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. So they have that same issue everywhere, probably, because they got crooks everywhere.
I mean, of course.
Or you think it's worse in the Dominican Republic?
I'll be honest with you, bro. Out of all the places that I've gone to, I've never been swindled anywhere else but in Dominican Republic.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I'm not saying that to knock the Dominican Republic, because I really like it. I actually was living there. I spent the most time there than any other country. But it's just, I don't know. There a lot of them, it's the mentality and it's the desperation. You know what I mean? And then they see it's like you know, when you're a shorty, you on the block, you see the older guys on the block doing what they do, they making money. So you kind of like look up to them. You like, man, how can I possibly get anything from them? And that's a similar mindset to probably what a lot of Dominicans have when they see gringos. They be like, ooh, money. How can I possibly get some of it?
What other countries you said you've been to, Lou?
I've been to Jamaica, Panama, Belize, Colombia, Canada, and Haiti, and the Bahamas.
All right. I do know the credit card stuff happen in other countries as well.
Of course.
But it is, you know, it may be high in the DR, but it.
Wait a minute now. You got a Dominican on the panel now. You know, hey Junior, how you feel about them talking about?
Hey, serious. I'm the type of person, when you're telling the truth, I stay in the car because I agree with them. It's true. You gotta understand. Listen, this is what I say to a lot of Dominicans. If y'all put your mind to certain things, this will be a great nation. But what a lot of them do, they want to do illegal stuff.
Yep.
And they mess things up.
Yep.
Like I said, this is my country and all, but starting from the government and down, it's corrupt.
Yeah. And I always say too is that this is not, but I told somebody the other day, and KM123, I know your little faggot ass somewhere watching, ready to dub and copy us. Fuck you. I hate that because he always try to take your words and twist it out.
Right.
Again, anything I say about the DR, the same thing I say about El Salvador, same thing I say about Costa Rica, anywhere I've ever been, it's like nowhere is a monolith. Just like African Americans, we're not a monolith. We all do not think the same, behave the same, act the same. Okay. Mm-hmm. Dominicans are not a monolith. All Dominicans do not feel the same way, think the same way, this, that, whatever. Yep. So no one Dominican can tell me, because every time I'm at the island, I listen to different Dominicans and I'm like, oh no, they tell me totally different shit. Yeah. Totally. Now this one might agree with, even like you say, like I'm like Junior says something different. Manuel says something different. My builder I'm like, they're not a monolith. They're not all of one mind, and think it depends on what your circumstance is. Yeah. Some Dominicans are very educated, very well off, very wealthy. They think like motherfuckers with money in the US. I always tell people with money don't have the same problems as people without money. Right. So people without money be bitching about shit. People with money be like, I don't know what the fuck they talking about.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Wow.
Yeah, they got a good point, Rico. I believe it happens more in the DR too, and in the poor countries just in general. Like I believe it happens, and especially in the tourist areas, like probably Colombia probably gets it pretty bad, and
Philippines get it a lot. It's big in the Philippines. It's big in Thailand.
Yeah,
I mean it's any area that has poverty. That's going to be the case, like you said. Anywhere in the world, in any sector of the world that has poverty, that is going to be the mindset of how do we survive? It's not a thriving mindset. It's survival. So it's like, listen, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to try to get this thing, and then do it again tomorrow.
Survival of the fittest. That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, because what I always tell people is again, poor people think short term.
That's right.
They don't think long term. They think short term. So what you're saying is very true, Junior. But it's hard to convince poor people who just trying to get enough to eat to think about in the long term. They're like, fuck this shit. I'm trying to get it now. And that's why it's hard to break that cycle, because it's really a cycle of poverty. And it's not a Dominican issue. It's poor people in Colombia, Brazil. Everywhere where there are poor people, they fall into criminality because their mindset is short thinking, because they wake up and the weight of the world is on their shoulders. How am I going to keep a roof over my head? How am I going to feed my children? How am I going to feed myself? All that. People with money in those countries don't think short term. They think long. They have the luxury to think long term. Poor people, that's just not a luxury that they have. So I definitely agree with it. I wish they would, but it's like at the same time, I'm like, God damn it, I kind of understand. I wish they would change, but the only way it will change is the government. So if you went like Lou said, he was in Haiti. They scamming like a motherfucker in Haiti. But look at what's going on there.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, my
They're
God.
10 times worse than the DR in Haiti.
And it's again,
But
just
I
like DR in
understand
Haiti,
why.
it's the government. It starts from the top.
Yes.
If you as a government are not looking out for your people, get it. They're gonna look out for themselves.
Yes. So I'm not mad at the Haitian people for scamming. I mean, I don't want you to fucking scam me, but I'm like, how can I get mad at you if you're just trying to survive?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the thing is, it's all about what they grew up seeing. Like if they never saw their grandparents make it or their parents make it, and then it's the old school mentality of I ain't never had nothing and you ain't gonna never have nothing. So get out there, make your little $2 and be content with that. You know what I mean? And it takes the only way that those type of people will come out of that is if they somehow luck up, bump into someone that says, I believe in you. Let me show you how I did it. And I want you to see that it is true and it's possible for you. Then it's just not going to happen. People don't believe, especially people who have a poverty mindset. They don't believe something that they've never seen, and they don't believe it until they see it, so without mentorship, and like you said, starting from the very top, it trickles down. It's just that same old thing. It's just going to continue to happen.
That's a good point because you got Pakistani people. How you say Pakistani? Yeah, Pakistani people. They are doctors, and then you got the Pakistani people you see on YouTube that doing credit card scams and fraud and stuff like that. So it depends on where you come from, and like Junior said, it's your mindset, and Nikki said it's your mindset.
It's almost every country. It's a poverty mindset, and the only thing is in the West, I will say that Western nations, because the government, like it's not like the government in America really gives a fuck about poor Americans, but they care enough to lift you. They say, look, we're not gonna make you not poor, but we're gonna lift you up enough that you don't have to do that.
But also, we're gonna lift you up enough to where we ain't gotta be scared that all y'all gonna come together, because it's way more poor people that can come together and tear this whole place up.
That'll never. Even if we get a whole bunch of money. Hold on. Let me finish, Rico. Even if we do get a whole bunch of money, we everybody gonna buy Cadillac Escalades, and then everybody gonna be.
Now you see, there you go, that poverty mindset. No,
I'm saying that's what they will do.
Anybody gonna do that dumb shit.
Wait. No. I think you misunderstood what I said.
Yeah,
okay, tell me what you said.
You totally.
Oh, sorry.
What I'm saying. Okay, look at it like this. If they were only, let's talk about welfare and things like that. Let's say they only gave these people $10 worth of food per month. That would not hold these people off, and I'm talking millions of people, right? It would not hold them back from going out and taking from everybody else who has, because they're like, we don't have enough. So when Rico was saying we give them just enough, that's what he's meaning by that. Just enough to keep them, in their place, keep them in their place, so we don't have to deal with them. Long as y'all stay over there, keep that poor stuff there. Don't touch our rich stuff. That is what's happening there.
I misunderstood you. Sorry, Nikki.
So
yeah, y'all was like, what?
So what the government does, we'll give the masses some help. Okay, so they have housing help, they have food help. That's what the SNAP program is. It's basically we making sure that they don't starve.
Yep.
We're gonna give them that. We're gonna give them housing help, and we're gonna give them health care. These are basic human rights things.
That's right.
That's all it is. It ain't enough for you to get rich or fat and you ain't living off the tit, but you just ain't gonna starve to death. Now, to other countries, it looks wonderful because those countries don't even provide that.
That's right.
That's the difference.
No, that's good, Rico. Let me read this comment because y'all believe this? Tandem says it really bothers me that the most Dominicans young people don't speak English, but all the other Caribbean countries speak a decent amount of English. Is that true?
Can I go first? Can I go first?
Go ahead, Nikki.
No disrespect, Tandem, but my first thought would be that it's not necessarily their job to learn English. They don't have to. Now, would it benefit them? Of course, but it's not something that they have to do. And I think that that's a really American like mindset to have. Like everyone should be speaking our language because we're the best in the world. That's how it feels to me. Like I said, would it benefit them? Of course, that would be awesome. And I think that they should learn it. However, I don't think it's like a prerequisite for their life.
I disagree a little bit. And I'll tell you why. There's some truth to what he said, because if you look at the rest of the Caribbean, so with the exception of maybe Cuba, which I think they are heavy, still Spanish-speaking population, but all the other Caribbean countries, they do speak English predominantly.
I'm not disputing that. They definitely
right.
do.
I know. I'm not saying you're disputing it. I'm just trying to like give a little back history. And the only reason why I say this, like I told somebody the other day, which is why me and John are so fucking illiterate and stupid on learning Spanish, is literally because the most spoken language in the world is English.
Right.
Number one, spoken all over the world globally. Spanish is number two. Spanish is the second most spoken language in the world. However, English outstrips, Spanish, and it's a power thing. It's a power structure thing. Now, do I think it's required to learn to speak English in the DR? Absolutely not. But would the young people have a better, first of all, I think,
everyone would have an advantage, not just young people.
Everybody would have an advantage. So you look at even Asian countries, like if you look at a lot of Asian countries, they push English. They push English along with, like in Japan, pretty much most of everybody in Japan speak Japanese and English.
Junior and I went.
Go ahead,
Junior took me and Dominga to the
Chinatown. We went to Chinatown.
Yeah, how old was that boy? He knew what, 4 or 5 different languages?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had to be no more.
He was Chinese.
No more than 10 years old.
He was Chino. Junior was
he
Chino?
wasn't Chino. No,
he wasn't Chino.
No, he was
Korean.
Was it?
Okay, that's Chino. You know y'all call all of them Chino.
He was from another Asian country, but he wasn't Chino.
Okay, but you know y'all call all of them Chino.
No, I don't. I know the difference.
I know you don't, but the rest, come on, Junior, see, you tricked me.
Listen,
you tricked me.
Rico, you gotta understand, just like I was telling John today, if you're in Chinatown around all Chinos, you're a Chino too.
Thank you. That's what I said. Junior, you tricked me.
Yeah, because for real now. I said, wait just a minute. You know, Dominicans call all Asian Chinos.
All of them.
All of them.
All of them. I don't care where they from. You Chino.
Yep.
Well, I was gonna say something about the English. Mm-hmm. Now, I want to say 20 years ago. Like I said, I've only been back in DR going on 7 years, but I've known back then it wasn't like in schools, but now is a requirement for young kids to learn English, and especially now that you could be 16 years old to work in a call center. So a lot of kids are learning on their own to learn English to make, a better income. So they push themselves to learn English. I know, buddy of mine, Haitian kid, he learned English here watching TV, listening to videos, Mm-hmm. And I asked him, I was like, yo, wait, you ever lived in the States? He was like, nope. I was raised here in DR and I learned English on my own,
right.
So.
Well, let me ask you a question, because you said something about the schooling, and I didn't even know this even about my wife's country, because I was like, God damn, this shows you how unaware and detached Americans are. Because as old as I am, I've always grown up where, like, in America, your ass went to school or your parents went to jail, period. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I didn't realize, like, same way my wife from El Salvador and the DR, and I didn't know. And it was like, oh, no, school's not mandatory. So a lot of kids don't go to school. And I didn't know that. So I was like, are you fucking serious? So, like, in America, after the kid turns 5, you got to have them in school, or you better be homeschooling them or something.
Yeah.
What about Lou? Do you have anything to do with? Are you going to China or Japan or something soon or something? Seems like somebody told me that.
I mean, what I'm trying to do is set something up for next year. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure when yet. I will definitely keep you in the loop in case you want to go. But
no, this brother right here, Jay, I just brought up. I think you guys need to link up because he talks about that a lot. What's up, Jay?
Hey, Jay.
Yeah, it's going on, Jay.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Where you talking about going, Lou?
Huh?
Where you trying to go?
Sometime next year. I don't have a date yet. To like, Japan, the other side. Really, just somewhere Asian-ish. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So you haven't decided where, but you want to go somewhere in Asia.
Could be
now
Japan,
Jay,
could be the Filipino.
Jay knows a whole bunch on it. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, to the brother who said about Japan. What's your name, brother?
My name is Luap.
Luap, what's up? Nice to meet you, man. Listen,
Nice to meet you, Jay.
Okay, you're going to plan to go to Japan. Okay, first of all, congratulations. I'm glad you're going over there. If you have time, link up with me. I want to tell you more stuff that you will probably need to know.
Okay.
Just to be on the safe side. But overall, if you're going to Japan, what you want to do is make sure you have everything. That's number one. Number two, when you it's best to plan your booking and things like that early. I mean, be on top of that. Don't.
Right.
I tell everybody because some people just kind of walk in, frivolously and just like I can just purchase a place, and no. Sometimes, trust me, you'll be let. Trust me, somebody walk in the next day to clock in, and you probably have to pay an extra day.
Right.
So,
right. Okay.
So the thing is, you want to take care of your booking first, brother. Like literally, be on top of it. I even have brothers who are going to one cat who just came back from Japan recently. He told me one thing you'll want to do is just keep a mindful eye on that. Like like I said, because there's actually a link I can send you to. The Instagram is actually linked to the hotel where you can actually for people who travel to Japan. Okay. And it's legit. My friends have used it like 5 times, so I know it's legit. And he's gone down and back quite fine. They'll let you know. I mean, they would tell you like what's available. You'll get a discount on some of the things that you whatever hotel you go to, and also if you're planning, how long are you planning on staying? I should have said that before.
Like anywhere from like 1 to 3 weeks.
1 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You probably want to do 3 weeks, honestly. But that's if that's your plan. If you want to do that, I would say just because because if you want to like really immerse yourself in culture and really get to see what's around there, you want to be there longer than a week. I promise you, a week ain't enough. You would need like 3 weeks at least.
Exactly.
Actually, I'll keep it with all y'all. Bare minimum a month. A bare minimum, but so, 3 weeks is good, brother.
Jay, what's the time slot for an American to be over there without needing a visa?
90 days.
90? Okay.
90. Good. Thank you for asking me right away. I was going to get right to that. I said for your visa or whatever, if you're planning, if you're just for traveling, it's only 90 days. But if you have a work visa or anything like that, you stay longer, which is what I'm planning on getting basically because I plan on being the English teacher over there. So that's my whole thing.
That's awesome that you guys y'all go in the private chat and make sure y'all exchange each other's number on WhatsApp because that'd be great.
No, definitely. But I want to touch up on what the cats were saying about you when you got to learn certain languages.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I promise you that. Listen, everybody on this panel who's talking about you need to learn a language, all y'all are correct. None of y'all are naive. Thank God none of y'all are naive. Thank God. All y'all have to learn the language. I don't care how little or how advanced it needs to be. You need to be able to at least learn a few key phrases and be able to understand what's being said back to you. If you can't understand what's coming back to you, you're just going to be like, well, whatever. I'm just going to walk into random stuff. You don't want that to happen.
I've been forcing myself. I'm not a fast learner. I'm a slow learner. But since I've been here, I have really. I'm proud of myself. I pat myself on the back and I say, hey,
what? What you pat yourself on the back for?
Because
your ass is extra slow. We all know that.
What? Shut up, man. They don't laugh at that.
What you give yourself a pat on the back for being in last place?
Well, your ass got a helmet right next to me, bastard.
That's all right, but I know where I'm at. So sit your stupid ass back here with me.
So, but anyway, Jay, you're right. You really do have to, when you pick up the language, and it's a respect thing, because Nikki talked about it too. It's a respect thing. Like, man, they see you really trying, to learn, and you saying some words, you sound like a Mexican at Home Depot, but you really get putting some stuff together. I be saying words, and
and they do like this. But here's the truth of the matter, right? Me and Coach, we both lazy. But what I realize is that I do realize, like, I do myself a disservice by not learning the language. So in other words, what I don't do is I don't complain when they treat me like a gringo, because I know I'm fucking acting like one. I just don't. So everybody else get upset. Oh, they fucking gringo me. I'm like, let me get my wallet. I just don't. I have zero pushback, because until I know I've reached a place of immersing myself into the culture and the language, I can't complain. I just, to me, I have sense enough to know that I go and expect to get charged more, because I'm acting like a fucking gringo. So pay like one.
Right.
But if you learn the language,
Carl,
like
go ahead, brother. You was about to say something, Carl. Go ahead, brother. Carl.
No, I'm just saying, with regards to the language, I'm the same way with you two guys too. We go, John, picking the language
we
up.
Struggling.
Right, we struggling with it. But like you said, man, you're right. We gotta, as Dave said, we gotta put forth the effort.
Yeah. Are you going? Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead, Nikki.
I wonder if the common denominator perhaps is that you guys are males, because I feel like women.
You trying to say males are slow?
Nah, not even. What I'm saying that
little bit.
I mean, but my point is that most women are very big on clear communication. Like me, I will lose my mind if I feel like I'm not communicating clearly with my partner. And I feel like men, sometimes y'all are just kind of like, oh, well, we don't necessarily have to communicate that well. Just as long as stuff.
Well, it might be, Nikki. I will say this. You got a point, and I'll say this. We're lazy communicators. Because I'm being honest with myself, Coach, and probably Carl, we feel like our loved ones is going to communicate with us in the language that we require. They're going to do the work. So we're fucking lazy, and we just feel like, I don't have to do it because my baby going to do it. So I think a little bit in that way, because really for me, it just takes the discipline, like Dr. Black said. Get off my fucking ass and say, set aside 30 minutes a day, but I just won't do it because my wife will interpret for me, and she'll speak English, and I can be lazy, and I don't give a fuck.
That's right. Listen, you're making my point.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
Come on, Consuelo, you gotta learn.
Woman is gonna come in there and be like, "Look, thing together, this, and that." And Miss Pena said Spanish grammar is so much more complex than English grammar, and she makes a good point. But here's the deal, though, Miss Pena, that is true. However, it is generally a simple, basic pattern, and once you get that basic pattern down, you're able to remember things. But I
learned what I need to know. Cerveza, tequila, cállate. I'm done.
I
graduated.
And baño.
And baño. Yeah, baño. I graduated.
I love it.
Look,
I got you.
I just have another question for Junior. This is doubling back on the school thing. So what happens if the child in, like, let's say 7th grade says, "Hey, I'm done with school"? What happens?
You don't go to school.
Nothing. That's it. Even earlier, right?
What's keeping in school then in that case? Because I feel like if that happened in the U.S., nobody would go to school.
There's kids.
It's not mandatory.
like sometimes you see the kids washing windows, and as young as 7 years old.
Yeah.
They don't go to school.
They don't go to
Nobody
school.
forces them to go to school.
Wow.
That's what I had a hard time learning. I struggled with that shit.
There's no system that forces them to go to school here. That's the thing.
That's why those baseball kids they start playing baseball at 7 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the evening, and
what I'm saying though, but Junior, what I'm saying is it's not just a DR thing. It's like all of Latin America, all of Central America.
Yeah, it's because
I didn't know that. Yeah, about my wife's country. I thought they make this. She was like, no.
You gotta understand. Some of these
parts
kids,
of Africa, you gotta pay to go to school.
Some of these kids, their parents, they're poor, so their parents make them go out and work.
Yes.
You know. Well, it's sad, but that's what's happening. You know, a lot of countries.
So what happens is you have a large part of the population that's just uneducated. It doesn't mean they're stupid. It just means they never had. If you're born at the bottom, you can't afford to go to school. Your mama got 4, 5 of y'all, whatever. Ain't no daddy around. We got to get it out the fucking mud. So if you old enough to go steal, beg, hustle, borrow, whatever, you got to do it. And school there's no government structure that's going to say you got to go to school. And that is not a Dominican thing.
Right.
That's in Africa. That's in large parts of Asia, whether you're in the Philippines, Thailand, whatever. That's poor countries around the globe.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It just
Yep. Carl, have you noticed a lot of kids when you're here? A lot of kids are on the street.
Have I noticed? Yeah, I've seen quite a few. When I come, I've seen a lot of.
Yeah, like man, and it's during school hours, and they should be in school. But it doesn't happen in Puerto Rico because Puerto Rico is
that's the U.S.
That's the U.S. Right.
That's the U.S. They lock your ass up if you don't send kids to school in Puerto Rico. That's a U.S. territory. It doesn't happen in Guam either. That's a U.S. territory. Outside of the West, you don't have to send your kids to school, period.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's not just Latin America. It's Africa. It's Asia. So again, people are trying to clip my shit up. I'm saying this is a global thing. And as Americans, we forget there are certain things that's normalized to us that it's like I had a hard time still. I was like, God damn, these kids don't, because those countries, they just I don't know why. I don't know why. They just don't.
Right. Hey Lou, do you know any Spanish?
Claro que
yeah,
sí.
Claro.
¿Qué tú quieres yo dice?
You guys need to take after Lou.
Now, I mean, because see, look, I was just thinking it, right? Basically, the more water, the more oxygen, and the more nutrients you have in your brain, the better it's going to work for you. The better it's going to be at retaining new information or whatever information. It's not so much the older you get, it's the older you let yourself become by putting toxins inside of the body.
It feels like you're talking directly to me. You throwing shots at me, Lou.
If I was just bob and weave.
He too slow for that.
That's good, brother. I like that. I like that.
Slow.
Yeah.
Hey, Lou, he walk into it like this. I keep getting hit.
Stop hitting me. Stop hitting me.
No, that makes sense. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother. Yeah, you're right.
Because look, I've been on both sides of the gate, right? So I can definitely tell you what it feels like to be on both sides of the gate. When I used to eat whatever, I was getting very bad grades. I even failed 4th grade, right? And this is as a youth. I never carried books. I never even wanted to read. But as soon as I cleaned up what I put in my system, I started getting A's and B's almost overnight. Instead of me copying off of people, they were copying off of me now. You know, and then I was always walking around with a book. I became a nerd, you know, and that's because of the body and how the body was cleansed. I all of a sudden was cleansed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to be a nerd in New York City, but when I cleaned up my body, it was just like, wow, everything, all my antennas was just sharper. You know, my eyesight got better, my hearing got better, my taste buds enhanced, everything, my intuition got sharper. You know what I mean? It's all about the level of toxicity you have in your body.
Hey, Luke, can I ask you a question? Where are you at now?
Right now, I'm on a plane.
No, I mean, what? Are you in the U.S.? I don't want
That's some good cell service.
Yeah. What country are you in at the moment?
I'm in Estados Unidos, United States.
Oh, okay. No, because what I wanted to ask you was because, like, you seem like a well-traveled man, and I know for me, what I try to do whenever I do travel.
Somebody got some music up. Turn it down just a little bit. Whoever got it. Okay.
So whenever I try to travel, I try to absorb, because I hear you talking about like what you put in your body and whatever. So of course I put a bunch of shit in my body. But what I try to do when I go to places, I try to absorb experiences of where I'm at.
Right.
So like different places. So like which folks on the channel would know, maybe you don't know. I just got back from El Salvador like 10 days ago. And I was there, had a wonderful time. But it was kind of like, for all the years I've been going there, every time I go there, it's just like, wow, you know, how the people are. It's just like I absorb things. Every time I go to the DR, it feels different than when I'm currently here in the United States. When I go to the DR, I absorb sort of like an energy of the place. I don't think it comes from the people.
No.
Maybe it does. Maybe the people are a part of it, but I just think it's like where I'm at. So that's why I was asking you where you were at, because I want to try to tell people, like, I have a lot of disdain for certain types of travelers, the sorry fucking passport bros or whatever the case may be, or people with certain ideology. But I'm a big proponent of travel.
Yes.
I want every person of color to travel the whole fucking globe.
Amen,
but I want
brother.
you to travel the right way with the right mindset. And like Dave always talks about Japan. He will absorb Japan because he's open to it. I think most travelers, if you're traveling like for women or just it's like, I'm like, you're not going to get what you need to get out of the place.
The full experience.
You're not going to get. You're not allowing yourself to be open to because when I go to like everybody know, like in 15 days I'll be in Europe. Never been to Europe.
Right.
I have to open myself up to experiencing it, and not saying, "Oh, well, I'm over there for bitches and hoes or this, that." No. I've never been. I don't know what the fuck is over there. Open yourself up. And that's what I want people to do. And that's why I was asking you, because like the places you go, when you were talking about going to Asia, and the whole, what you put in your body, not just what you put in your body, what you put in your mind.
What you surround yourself around as well.
Yes. So you surround yourself and then open your mind. And when you go, it's like, oh, this is what they're speaking. So when I hear somebody speak German,
that's what they speak.
I'm not gonna know what the fuck that shit feels like, but I want to be open to that first time experience when someone says "Sprechen Sie Deutsch" or whatever, a real German person, not from a movie. Like, what the fuck did it make you feel like?
Eins, zwei, drei.
Yeah, you know that's real shit.
We've so watered down with these YouTube channels, and all they talk about is ass and titties and women, and let me go get some women, and it's so frustrating. And I'm glad I was.
Oh, brother, he went out.
That's God.
Against.
But what I'm saying, the good thing about it is that that's God. Listen, you need to listen. What I'm saying is that
why is Rico a pastor?
wherever you go, whoever you are, just listen to that experience. And I wish I had the money to send every black person in America somewhere. I think we would be better. Yep. I do. I don't want us to go over there with the toxicity that we have. Just go and be open. And I want to send every Dominican somewhere. Don't go with your beliefs. Go and just be open. And I just think global travel is a beautiful thing. But I just think, Americans, that we're called the ugly. You know why we're called the ugly Americans? Because we take the bullshit with us. And everywhere we land, we bring that bullshit with us. We don't listen, and that's why people reject us.
Hey, Brother Rico.
Rico said something brilliant. I love
Don't disagree.
Hey, Brother Rico. Can I say this, Rico? Hey, while we got all 7 of us on this panel, I agree with what you just said. Why can't we start like an organization to where we help people to travel to other places? I don't know the exactness of how we could do that yet, but we could come together and maybe start with 1 trip a year or something like that, and collect funds to distribute to a certain location that we could take maybe 10 to 20 to 30 different people to a new country or a new island or just something, so they can experience something different.
That's a good idea. I mean,
that's not a bad idea. Yeah. I just think I'll always say, because I know everybody can't come on the ship, and I get that. And I'm not having a negative mindset when it comes to that. But certain people are open to certain things. And like I said, look, and I got to say this. Majority of the black men, and I'm going to say it, never know what it's like, never looked outside of America. Let's just keep it buck. Yep. That's where that fear is. Like, I don't want to go over there. Like for example, my mother was horrified. Like, wait, you want to go to Japan, sweetheart? I'm like, yes, I do, Mom. I know what I want to go for. And she was like, oh, no, Mom. I got military buddies over there. That's not like you haven't. And what that is from news you hear outside of America, because you felt like America is the safest place. But that's still, you know what that is? That is indoctrination fear. And I don't like that. Because if that's the case, well, you should only stay ever in America and you should never go anywhere else. That I don't like mindsets like that. That's dangerous. It's like, because it's like just stay in the house and never come out. No one will ever hurt you.
Well,
I like can still walk through your door.
So. Great point.
That's the best place on the planet. It's not.
That's good. Let me say this.
Hold on, let Carl talk. Shut up. You're talking too much. Go ahead, Carl.
Oh, go ahead, Carl.
Shut up, radio. Go ahead, Carl.
That's best, like Jay said, to get out and get out that mindset, because America has this mentality on us that we can't go nowhere else. Only here in America, stay in America. Don't step outside because you're not going to experience what, this is the greatest place, which is not the greatest place. So like I said, you got to get out that mindset and just do it, man, adventure. Because I was stuck in my mindset for years. That's why I didn't travel for years, man, because I was stuck in the very mindset that Jay is talking about.
Absolutely.
I
think it happens more so though with the African American community. Honestly, with the traveling thing, you know what I mean? And I'm happy that now we are starting to have more YouTubers talking about traveling more as African Americans, because I know for me, that was definitely the way I was raised. I never flew on a plane with my mom or dad. First time I flew, I was 23 years old, and I flew with my grandmother. And my thought was, well, at least if I die, I'm going to die with my grandmother, which is so crazy, right? And here I am, 20 years later, and I've flown at this point, I don't know, in the last year, like 10 times, because I had to let go of the fear and live my life. So, Jay, kudos to you, man. Like I said, you made such a great point. And I did want to ask a question about the first time that you decided to go to travel to an Asian place. Like, what sparked that? What sparked that curiosity?
He hasn't been yet, but he's going.
It's happening this year. I plan on going.
I want to ask somebody that's been. You want to ask somebody that's been? I was about 21. I know Jay hasn't been yet.
Go ahead, Rico. Go ahead. Hold on. I'll answer a question, but I will let Rico go ahead. I want you to get your explanation.
And I'll just say this. Maybe 20 or 21 when I went. I was in the military, so now I wasn't doing it on my dime. I did my first 3 years in the Army, and I had re-enlisted, and I specifically requested to go to Korea. I had never been. I had a sergeant that came into my unit that told me about it, and he just made me interested in it. And I wanted to get, I was in a Green Beret unit, and I said, like, I got to get away from these crazy motherfuckers. These motherfuckers trying to kill me, right? Because they were so hard. They were hard as a motherfucker. I swear to God, oh God. And I was up, where I was up north in the snow. So we were doing all this snow training. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna freeze it that they're gonna kill a nigga up here in all this snow, right? Like, it was like, I've been there for like 3 going on 4 years. So I was like, okay, I'm a re-enlist. And this is the true story. This is the God's honest truth. I was in a support company. I was a supply sergeant, headquarters company, 10th Special Forces Group, Green Beret. And I was like, and I wasn't no Green Beret, but I supported them. But when you support them, you don't just support them. Motherfucker, you got to do shit that, if they tell your ass to run 10 miles, motherfucker, you running 10 miles. That's all there is to it. And I was like, I'm sick of this shit. So my 3-year enlistment was up. So I re-enlisted. And I said, I'll re-enlist under one condition. Send me to Korea. And it was a 1-year assignment. And that was when I went to Korea. And I was maybe 20 and a half, hadn't turned 21 when I went. And I was there for a year. And I had a ball. To be honest, I had so much fun. That's where I got in trouble. Because when I was over there, I was doing drugs. I was stealing. I was doing all kinds of shit. Chasing whores, bugging whores.
This was how long ago? About 3-4 months ago? You talking about
Yeah, about 3-4 months ago. No, I'm like, this was in the 80s, and I mean, like the black
that's
market.
different. That's different.
It was like everything was just so wild, and I was like, I was a 20-something-year-old, so I was very influential. I was very
you young.
Influenced, and I had a much older guy that was in Vietnam. And he was like, young, fuck this shit. This is what we're going to do. I was like, okay, yeah. I was with the fuck shit. And I balled the fuck out for a whole year. I'm going to pull up some old pictures. I was there when they had the Olympics in Seoul, Korea in 88.
Wow.
1988.
Wow.
Imagine how, Jay, was you born?
No, I'm 19. No, I'm 1991.
Okay, you weren't even born. Okay, all right. So I'm saying that's how long ago.
God Christ.
And I was
you're probably the same age as my father, honestly.
Right. So, but I'm saying it was like, oh shit, we just so you can land in a space in your travels,
right?
And the only reason why I say that is that even though it was military, I could have had somebody better to guide me, but I didn't. I had a negative person that told me to do negative shit, and I did it. So when I'm speaking about travel, I'm consistently, because I think here we are in 2024. You have positive voices in the travel space, and you have negative voices in the travel space. I'm trying to always be a positive voice in the travel space, because I literally believe there are YouTubers out here in the travel space that is giving out horrible advice, telling people to travel, and they're asking for consultation, all kinds of horrible shit that's negative.
And you know what? Just to kind of touch on what Lou Rico, I agree with you. Touch on what Lou said. Lou was talking about having like a group of people to come together and have something, but we would have to let them know up front so we can get rid of all the stupid passport people that want to have sex with a whole bunch.
Well, we're gonna have about 10 people. Because most of these niggas want to travel for pussy. Most of them traveling for cheap pussy.
But so my point is, when you start having something about investing in the Dominican Republic and real estate and giving back at the orphanage.
They're
and
not
stopping at
traveling
the
for that.
orphanage.
They're traveling for cheap pussy.
But Lou, what I'm saying, Lou, what Lou wants to do, we have to let them know so we can weed all those guys out and women out, so we'll be good with the people that's on the same mindset. Don't you agree, Carl? And
agree, totally. Yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But see, it could
You
be
gotta
an
be going for the
application process.
right reasons.
Right.
I would say that. Like you gotta go for the right reasons. For me, like it's beginning as a byproduct of me working as an English teacher there. But my thing is there, the culture comes first for me overall than anything else, because it's good for me to for a black brother to say this, but the woman can take a backseat for what I'm trying to do, because I want to see this. Like I want to see the monuments, I want to see the sites, I want to see all this stuff.
Right,
bro. I got a bunch of Tory Gate shrines I gotta freaking go to before any of this stuff, and plus that's me getting accustomed to the area because I'll be living there. So you know all that because I told my brothers my plans. I'm like, they know what I got going on. It took them about like 2 to 3 years before they found their ladies and stuff, just to even understand all of this. Like this took years.
Oh,
so it's not like I can go in there, I can do this. No, you can't. No, you can't.
Right.
It takes a
while.
while.
Lou, what you was about to say, Lou? I'm sorry.
It starts with an application process. I mean, it could start with an application process. You know, it's like you starting from the bottom of the ladder and you're working them up to certain things. You know what I mean? Like you definitely don't want to take people who are going to act a fool on a trip. So you start with an application process, you know, process and elimination. But also, again, you know, I don't mean to bring up health again, but since we was already talking about it, it starts from what you put in the system. You know, when you got people who are drinking, smoking, and doing different drugs and just eating whatever, they tend to have a different outlook and engagement with the world than most people who I know that are like vegans and vegetarians. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know,
but it's a balance.
Vegetarians that they're acting a fool.
Right, I agree, Lou, but it's a balance too. And it don't matter.
But Coach, let me ask Lou a question because we had because this piggybacks on the stream we had last week where you just literally Lou, and you should have been here last week. You a week late. No. The reason why, because Coach asked why was blacks dying in whatever he thought it was only black expats dying overseas, right? Mm-hmm. Remember that, John?
Yes, I remember. You don't have to bring up old shit, but go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm bringing up because what he said was true. Because that was the thing that I brought up, Lou, was I said that part of the problem was a lot of expats are going overseas and they're not taking care of their health. They're not drinking enough water. They're not exercising enough. They're not eating the right food. They're doing too much drinking, too much drugging, too much partying.
Absolutely.
And they're older. And they are older. So if your old fat ass like Coach should already be in the gym, and your old fat ass like Coach over there drinking too much, and your old fat ass like Coach over there partying too much, you can't blame the country. It's his old fat ass. Agreed? Agreed, Lou? All right, thank you. Mic drop.
Hey,
yo, Rico, bro. You gotta stop.
Oh, God.
I mean, our daily habit
in the hospital from laughter, bro. Death of laughter from Rico. God.
I agree. But look, our daily habits will dictate how fast we dig our graves. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah,
very
Carl stopped eating pork. How long you been off of pork, Carl?
For the last at least good 3 years, man. I don't eat that stuff.
I heard you had some bacon this morning, Carl. Carl, you had bacon this morning?
I had turkey bacon.
Now, turkey good. I'll eat that.
Hey, Lou, Lou asked how did you feel? That's a good question. Lou asked, how did you feel?
Yeah. How did you start to feel after?
Carl, can you hear us, Carl?
Oh, yeah.
God talking. God caught him in a lie. God caught him in a lie.
I feel much better now because I used to love eating that pork chop and all that stuff, and I find out what was in this. I seen video, I was done with it. Plus, and the fact is, it's an unclean hat. It's not clean. It's unclean.
How do you feel? He say, how do you feel? How do you feel since then?
Specifically, what specific changes have you noticed?
I just noticed that my energy's better. I don't. My gut feels better. And it's just, I guess I'm on more of a better mindset, you know.
Okay. Do you feel a sharper level of mental clarity?
Yes, absolutely. That's part of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Lou, don't let Junior get away. Ask his ass what he gave up.
That's right.
Come on, Junior. Motherfucker, you ain't getting away.
I'm sorry.
I know you're a pork eater. You look like a pork eater. You're a bacon eater, Junior. Junior, you be eating that fucking bacon. Stop lying.
Bacon.
Junior, he breaking up.
Okay,
look.
Go ahead, Lou. Go ahead, Lou. I got one for everyone on here. Because of what we've been discussing, I challenge everyone on here to give up something that you do now that you know can help you. So if you eat pork, give up eating pork for 90 days and see what it will do for you during those 90 days. And keep a journal.
Brother.
Keep a journal.
I gave it up 5 years. So yeah.
5 years.
Is that 90 whole days?
90 whole days,
Rico. So your old ass heard 90 days. He said 90
days. Extreme.
It takes 90 days for you to really see and feel what it's like to have that thing out of your system. You feel me?
Right.
It's a good 90 days so you can feel it. 30.
I got a long list.
All right. But what I'm saying is start.
Only gotta do one.
Start with the pork. And for those who don't eat pork, try to give up red meat for a complete 90 days. And keep a journal.
That was a challenge.
Keep a journal every single day on how you feel, what did you eat, what time you did this, what time you did that. So when the 90 days is over, you can re-look the pages and the truth is right there in front of you. You can't lie. You can't say, I forgot. You can't say anything. The truth will be right there in front of you. So you can say, look, this is either for me or not for me.
Okay, so if I give up red meat, that means I can still have chicken.
Yeah.
I can still have seafood, and I can still have pork because that's white meat.
Nah.
Oh, you said red meat. Make up your mind.
No, I'm telling you. Let's start from the bottom of the list.
So if I give up pork, I ain't gotta give up red meat then.
Not for right now.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Well, we'll come back. We'll come back in 90.
Right.
We'll come back in 90 to 180 days and propose a new challenge.
And then we'll do the next one. Okay, so if I just give up pork, and I can do that because pork is not a big staple of mine. So if I can give up just pork for 3 months,
right?
Yeah, and I can commit to that. Damn, I love some fucking bacon. Jesus,
I'm about to say, you
right? Woo! It's gonna be hard. But okay. All right.
He said, I love you. You do know the different forms of pork, right?
Yeah.
Chitlins, pepperoni, sausages, steak. I don't remember all of them, but there's a lot of different forms. So you have to
I don't eat all that. My big weakness is bacon. And my wife is always, she literally tells me, look at your belly. And like I fucking adore bacon.
Rico, you gotta start fasting. You gotta start fasting.
Yeah, hey, you over here drinking. Once you just move over, get rid of the crack pipe, and then don't worry about the bacon. Get rid of the crack pipe.
You gotta fast. You gotta start fasting.
I get rid of the crack pipe, but I keep the bacon. Bacon is like
bacon and eggs, though. But
bacon. Thank you, Jay. Yeah. I love some fucking bacon, but.
I'm gonna keep it real. I work out. Predominantly every 3 days in the week. More. I'm actually making it 4. But one of the things that I try. Okay, and Rico gonna probably kill me for this. I tried for a week I tried for a week to eat without trying to eat bacon without my eggs. That was hell. I'm gonna keep it real. No, I'm gonna keep it real with you, but hey, I toughed it out, but I ain't gonna lie. I think I'll be honest, I lasted maybe 3 months, and then I saw I drove past the Wendy's, and they had like a Baconator with the burger. I was like,
hey, you was a bitch. Fuck it, I'm going.
No, I'll tell you this, man. I didn't buy the burger. But I went home and got like some out of the freezer because I kept it in the freezer, and I was like, screw this, bro. I'm throwing sucker, just started cooking it with the eggs.
The energy I'm feeling.
I couldn't do it. I tried though, brother.
Yeah,
I did try. I gave it 3
That's
months.
respect, brother. Right. But the energy I'm feeling from Lou is like, y'all need to stop making excuses and just do it. I like that.
Just do it. Yeah, at least I tried. That's true.
That's true.
Yeah. Just do it.
But I'm just trying to be real and honest. It's like, whoo,
right.
Shit,
I have to Soul. Hey, real quick, y'all. Soul is at a graduation party. She graduates in 15 days, and I'm not letting her stay at the graduation party all night. So I got to go pick her up right now. So I don't know if Nikki wants to close out.
No, we shut it down. Go get your baby.
Hey, but go ahead, y'all. Give me one key point. One person, give me one key point on credit card fraud. One thing.
Everybody go around. Starting with you, Lou.
Go ahead, Lou.
Use one card only when you go overseas.
Good.
Nikki,
I like
your
that.
turn.
Nikki ghost.
Okay, I guess Nikki's
All
not on right now.
Your turn, Carl.
Yeah, one thing I say is just again, like I said, agree with Lou. One credit card used one time, and just always protect your stuff. Use this stuff like this; it will help protect it. Any scammers, keep it on guard.
Cool.
Awesome,
Cool.
Jay.
If you're traveling with folks, don't let them use your card. Tell them to use their own card.
I like that.
I'm real. I'm sorry. I'm raw. Use your own
That's
card.
real though. Junior.
Just use cash.
Junior.
Use cash.
Cash. That's it. Just cash.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, that helps too. Yeah.
I fucking hate you, Junior. You took mine. Use cash.
Yeah, my turn. My turn.
That's why
use cash.
I use cash.
Use fucking cash.
My turn. Make sure, like what Lou said. Lou said, have your main account, but have like a Cash App or a PayPal card and transfer money over there so nobody don't steal all your money.
Right.
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm gonna say use cash. Take your black ass. Go ahead. Take care of baby girl. Get her home in a little bit. We'll shut it down, John. I'm just gonna take a couple of minutes to tell everybody about the trip.
Love y'all. Take care.
All right.
All right.
Brother.
And again, for anybody that's still sticking around, I put up some videos of El Salvador. I hope you guys enjoyed them. If you watched them,
I love that part you went to.
Oh, you loved it? Okay. Well,
What was the name of that part?
Yeah. The name of the town is weird because El Salvador is weird. Other than like, I mean, I guess it's very similar. And I told somebody it's very similar to the DR, but just much smaller. Obviously, I think Dominican Republic has a population of 10 or 11 million people, and El Salvador is like maybe 5 or 6. So it's like maybe about almost half the size. Huh? Yeah. Well, no. When I was at that park, that was like 2 hours outside of San Salvador.
Okay.
So a lot of times when I go there, we fly. Of course, you only fly into San Salvador, which is the capital. But my wife's family is like all over. It's funny, like part of her family was, in El Salvador. If people don't know, like they had their latest civil war was in the 70s, like 1979, whatever.
Wow.
So the shit was, they had this civil war, kind of similar to like Colombia, which the Colombian people don't realize when people always talk about going to Colombia. I'm like, their civil war technically only ended like 10 years ago. probably about 9-10 years ago. It didn't end long time ago. So in El Salvador, it finished in like 79, 80. So part of her family was on the side of the gorillas and the mountains and shit. And then some was on the other side. So it's just same way like the Civil War in America. Families of different sides was fighting each other. But it is a very beautiful country. I just wanted to share with John and the channel and people to see different places that we go. Like Lou, I want you to share content when you go to places that you go. Wherever you go into Asia, share content. Let people see how Black men travel when we travel, and we don't all travel the same. I've been going to El Salvador. I met my wife 12 years ago. We celebrated our 10-year anniversary a couple of days ago, being married.
Congratulations.
I've been there for 12 years, and I love it.
Right.
But 10 years ago, I couldn't get out the car. I couldn't, because it was a country that was dealing with a lot of gang violence. Now, you see my hat? That's my El Presidente. This guy, Bukele.
Rico, can I say something real quick?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Junior.
Now that you're saying about that, right? But you couldn't go there 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
When I lived.
You breaking up, Junior. Come on back. Come on back. We listen.
They would take me to the bars and they would look at me right away like they.
You broke up again, but damn, you were doing good. We waiting. We ain't going nowhere. Come on, Junior. Fade back and come right back, Junior. We listening. We're not going nowhere.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you
All
now.
right. Yeah, I don't know. Today my internet is acting up today. So the whole thing is that they thought I was Black. They didn't know I was Dominican. So that's one thing with them.
Yeah, you look Black. Go ahead.
I am Black, so it's like
right, exactly.
I was only born in the Caribbean country, but I'm Black.
Yep.
So yeah, like I said, they were racist towards Black people in that area that I went to.
Yes.
But
here's the thing: is if you know, here's the thing about it, right? And this is the blower to me, was I've even had this conversation with my wife, right? And she doesn't even really fully understand it. If you know the history of El Salvador, right? El Salvador is the only Central American country of all of them where they expelled their African slaves. Did you know that, Junior?
No, I didn't know that.
Because what happened was, and you can do this through the Wikipedia search. So and when you look at the Northern Triangle, they talk about El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras. Guatemala and Honduras both have a very large African slave presence. Both of them. Very large. El Salvador had one as well. But there was an uprising in San Salvador where the slaves tried to do like they did in Haiti. And El Salvador said, get rid of all these niggas, whatever the word they used at that time. They wanted to get rid of them. So they tried to expel them all from the country. And most of them obviously went to neighboring countries, Guatemala, Honduras. They did not get rid of all of them. Because any country that's trying to expel a particular population, you can't get rid of all of them, but you can try. Argentina tried to do it with all Afro-Argentinians. Didn't get rid of all of them. Brazil tried to do it with Afro-Brazilians. Colombians tried to do it. You can't bring a population in and then say you're going to expel that population. You can do it, but you will not be successful at doing it. And that's what they try to do. So, but for the most part, I will say this. The majority of Salvadorians are of indigenous. Literally, like if you go through El Salvador, those are some of the most indigenous. I'm blown about how white my wife is. I'm like, bitch, you white. Compared to like Salvadorians, most of them, when I walk through that country, they are they're not Spaniards. They are very much indigenous, but they speak Spanish. They're very Catholic, but they are very, like her uncles, all of them. I was like, damn, they're all short as fuck. They're like 4 to 5 feet tall. They're very short. They're very indigenous. So I don't know if they were Aztecs, whatever the indigenous of that region was. But whatever the Central American indigenous is, they are that state a very strong part of it. It doesn't mean that obviously that there was no Spanish mixture, because it did exist. But it just is. It's very strong. It's very powerful. I love it. Nikki, you back?
I'm here.
Okay, all right, good. Because I mean, you driving. I'm not.
Oh.
But I just wanted to sit there and tell if anybody wanted to know about the conversation, that with me sharing the videos, it was just me sharing the videos to say that, like, hey, this is what the experience is like. This is what it is. I was blown away. I think like the last video I put up, I was blown away about seeing like fellow Black travelers in El Salvador.
Oh, wow.
Because 10 years ago when I went there, it was just me. I went this time, I saw like 5, 6 people from Florida. I'm like, what the fuck is y'all doing here? And they were African Americans. They're like, are y'all lost? They were like, nah, we picked this shit. I'm like, for real? So
what was that for choosing El Salvador? What made them choose that?
She was a travel agent. They flew from Miami. It was a $200 trip. And I'm telling you, they landed in San Salvador and they was like, we're having a ball. And not like now, I'll be honest with you. I would tell anybody, El Salvador is safer than the DR. 10 years ago, I would have told you smoking fucking dope. But literally, like the change was so drastic, and it really came from their president coming in. It's almost like as if the president of the DR came in and said, I'm going to annihilate the gangs.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
This motherfucker did it.
Wow.
He did it. And I was like, are you fucking serious? I mean, literally, you're watching someone that said, I'm going to do it. He'll like, fuck Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a bitch. I'm going to show you how to do it. And it was strange to me to watch how somebody could do some shit like that in a country where you could get away with it, and he got away with it. And even to the point where later on he told the fucking cabinet, I'm going to investigate all you. It literally, I've never seen that level of a dictatorship. But normally you see a dictatorship to the negative.
Right.
But he was like, I'm getting rid of all the gangs, period. And he just like built this massive prison and threw all these motherfuckers in jail. Anybody that smelled like, if you was around the letter GA, you went to jail. Wow. And I believe a lot of innocent people went to jail, but he didn't give a fuck. He was like, I'm going to make the thought of being in a gang so scary. And he did. He did.
And you said this was in what year?
He did this shit 5 years ago.
Wow.
In 5 years, he got reelected this January at 90% of the vote. 90% of the people voted for him.
Wow.
Because literally they said, we don't want the gangs to come back. We're tired of paying extortion. We're tired of all this. So in other words, it's like if Trump or Biden said everybody in the Crips, the Bloods, MS-13, all the gangs in America, but see what we don't do in America, we say that's not fair. It's not good. You can't take away their rights. You know what he said? Fuck them. He threw them all in jail. And you know what the people said? Okay.
Well, when
they said okay.
When you're dealing with people that are that extreme, I mean, what other way can you handle something like that?
So here's the perfect example, Nikki. What if Biden went to Chicago? Everybody always talk about Chicago. I'm locking up all the gang members.
Right.
And the people said, okay. What would Southside Chicago look like tomorrow?
Man.
That's what he did. He just went in and said, lock them all up. Give them all 50 years.
Wow.
And it seems unjust, but it was like, motherfuckers ain't over there scared no more.
Right.
Because all the people who live in that neighborhood, now I'm not worried about my kids getting raped. I'm not worried about my sons being forced to join a gang. I'm not worried about any of that. Did he lock up some innocent people? Maybe. But if he didn't, we're right back to where we were.
Right.
And that was the difference. He did it.
Wow. And you said this was in El Salvador?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, I would feel good about going if, knowing that. You know what I mean? That's wow. I mean, that's kind of like if somebody came and said that over in Haiti, they did something similar to that. I would be more willing to visit there at this point. I mean, back in the day, I thought at some point, you know what I mean, that I was going to visit. But, when all this craziness happened, I'm like, oh, nah, I'm absolutely not doing that. You can forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, to me, it's a very similar, I guess a similar example or what have you. But
see, here's the I'm glad you brought Haiti up. How do you think they're going to sit there and get that country back together with anything less than that?
Wow.
They're going to have to suspend all rights. There's no way they're going to do it any other way. I don't care what they call it. They can call it whatever they want. But literally, they broke motherfuckers out of jail. How are they not going to have less than constitutional rights? I'm sorry, you just can't. Unfortunately, to restore safety and security in Haiti, they're going to have to do it.
Ooh, that's a task. That's a task and a half, man.
It's not a task and a half. You're going to have some people that's just going to have to lose.
So do you think, so you're saying that you think that they have enough military power in order to actually try to get some sort of a plan in order for that to work?
Do they in Haiti? Do they have it today? No. But I'm saying that's what they're going to have to do. They're not going to be able to go. They're not going to be able to go with the American plan. Everybody has their rights. Because you're always going to be, because with that method, too many people are going to get slipped through the crack that's going to exploit and violate it. You're going to have to go in. Haiti needs a motherfucking dictator. Period. Full stop.
There's no, like you said, there's no other way around it, because I mean, my God, it is in pure chaos right now.
They need a dictator. They need a motherfucker go in there and bust a motherfucker in the head and throw about 2-3 generations in the trash, because 2 or 3 And the reason why I'm saying this, and it sounds horrible, but here's the thing. If you don't go into Haiti that aggressive, 2 or 3 generations of Haitians have been lost already.
That's right.
Waiting for help. So I'm saying, all right, if I'm the UN, I'm going in, I'm like, okay, we're going to go in and we're going to probably lock up half the fucking country and throw them away. And that might be gone. And that's wrong. I get it.
Yeah.
But we have to do that to save the half that we don't throw in jail so that they can make the future better. So unfortunately, some of the half that we throw in jail will not be the right people, and I hate that. I fucking hate it with a passion. I wish I could sit there and parse through and pick the right people. I don't know how you can do it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I just don't know.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, Jesus, I would hate for somebody like a what was the African oh my God, Nelson Mandela. I'd hate for someone like that to get caught up in something like that. You know what I mean? Like totally innocent, a total gem to the community. You know what I mean? Like a voice that we need. Yeah. But
I'm sorry, Lou, you still here? I'm sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah.
I saw you put in the chat. I want to go ahead and give you your closing. Nikki, let him get his close because he got to go, and I don't want to hold the brother up. I appreciate you coming and joining the chat and everything that you shared with us. I think it's all been very
Hello,
useful.
I got your number. I just added you.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me. I definitely appreciate it. I would love to connect again sometime. In the meantime, to everyone, love, peace, happiness, and prosperity to all.
All right. Salute to you, sir. Thank you. And thank you for coming and spending your time with us and sharing your wisdom. And we look forward to seeing you again, sir.
Yes, sir. In the meantime, if I may, Traveling Gems, check out the page, Traveling Gems. Let me know what you guys think.
Yeah, everybody, give me your page again, name, Lou.
It's Traveling Gems 2176. And like you talking about the videos from countries that I've been. I got them on this. You can see some of the videos, even some of them in the United States.
Hang on 1 second. All Traveling right. Gems, what?
Traveling Gems and 2176. Just to make it.
Is it all one word?
Nah, Traveling space Gems space 2176, just like the name.
Okay, I'm trying to make sure I put it in the chat correctly. But everybody, I think Nikki put it in. Again, please subscribe to Lou's channel, Traveling Gems 2176.
Let's check it out, actually.
Give thanks. Matter of fact, I got a video on Japan on there too. You might like.
Oh, bro, dude. Oh God, before you go, I gotta hook you with my man Tokyo 64. He lives over there, dude.
Oh,
he's a military veteran. He's married to his kids. He's in Niigata right now. I gotta hook you up with him because he would be able to help you some of the places you want to go to.
Okay. I tried to call you. It didn't work for some reason. But take my number from the private chat and you could contact me.
Yeah, I got you. I added you. I'll call you right after we're done with the stream. Just to make sure.
All right.
But again, I want all the subscribers to subscribe to Traveling Gems 2176. Please hit his channel. The brother is giving out great information. Whether you're here in the DR, looking at Europe, looking at Asia, wherever you want to go. And if you're just trying to get, unlike Coach John, and you don't want to be fat like his fat ass no more, and you want to get in shape, hit the brother up. He'll get you in shape, and y'all be like Rico, Cock Diesel.
Muscle.
All right, y'all. Stay brilliant.
All right, have a beautiful weekend, brother.
Thank you. You too.
All right, bro.
All right, good. Yeah, Nikki, I just wanted to make sure that he had his opportunity.
Absolutely. So look, let me get to this comment here from Dr. Robert Moore. He says, question, I'm flying into Santo Domingo next week. Will you guys VIP services? We'll use you guys VIP services. Totally excited to meet in person, meet and greet from the airport and moving forward. Sincerely me, Dr. Moore. So, okay, cool. We look forward to it. If you don't have the link to the VIP services, let me know. I will shoot that to you. Let me know that if you don't have it, and I'll get it over to you to make sure that we're there to pick you up.
Yeah, I guess make sure you got the contact details, Nikki,
yeah.
for you, Melvin, whoever, whatever.
Yeah, for
sure. Do the reach.
How did you remember Melvin's name?
Because you said it.
When was the last time I said his name?
Last week.
Huh. Interesting. Okay, very good.
Did you or did you not?
No, I totally did. Did.
Okay. So you think I wasn't paying no attention?
No, it wasn't that. And actually, I'm reacting that way for something totally different.
Okay.
And then I'll just leave it at that. But
okay, good. I think I was on the stream.
No, you were on the stream. I will.
Yeah.
I'm gonna contact you on the back end about what I'm talking about. Yeah.
But I'm saying, like I'm just trying to make sure that everybody's listening to what we're talking about, because I think what he said was was very good. He gave out information about the Asia, which I was kind of surprised. I didn't expect, especially him not having been there. And again, I'll tell you guys too. I said this again. I'm not harping on my travels. Part of why I'm going to Europe is to meet with my Asian family, my Japanese family. Yeah, Jay, and there you go. I thought that would perk your eyes up, right? Because actually, the whole reason, here's the whole point, right? I don't have any fancifulness about wanting to go to Europe. It's like, go to Europe, white people. Okay. It sounds weird. And don't get me wrong, I love my white family. I love white people. But Europe is not a place I've ever had an affinity to want to go. I've always liked Central America, South America, Asia, Africa. Europe has never struck my fancy. However,
Italy for me.
My wife's been to Italy. It's like, you want to go? No. I just don't. Europe just doesn't do it for me. But I'm literally going to Europe to see my Japanese grandchildren. Because why? It's cheaper to go to Europe than to go to Asia. It's literally financial to me. Okay. It's like, I want to see him. I haven't seen them in 4 or 5 years. Wow. And I told my wife, if we don't go see them in Germany, we got to wait for them to go to fucking Asia. And then we got to pay twice the cost to go to Asia. So fuck it. Let me get tickets to go to Germany. Now, while I'm in Germany, I'm like, fuck it. Since I'm in Europe, we'll be there for 10 days. Let's make this. Remember the movie you guys, now, Carl, you probably remember, you ain't that fucking young. Chevy Chase. You remember Chevy Chase? Yeah. Like the movies, right?
Oh,
I'm thinking to myself, Rico's European Vacation. Remember we used to do like, I can't remember what the character name was. He would do Vegas Vacation. He would do like different places. Yeah. So that's so that's my whole thing was like, okay, while I'm there, so I told my son, okay, we want to go to Paris. Because when he told me how close it was, I didn't realize like how small Europe was. I thought it was big. But Europe, the whole continent of Europe is like the size of America. So when you're going from country to country, it's like going from state to state. I just learned that shit. I thought like it was far. Oh. I'm like, oh shit, we'll fly into Germany.
Europe is part of Asia.
Huh?
Also on the same continent.
Yeah.
Asia and Europe on the same continent when you look at it.
Very small. So I'm like, okay, we'll fly into Germany, but we'll take a couple of days and we're going to go to Paris. and then a couple of days later we'll go to Belgium.
How
Because
far?
they're all connected.
How far is Paris from Germany?
Paris by train is like 3 hours.
Really?
Yeah, it blew me away. I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, they're not that far from each other. It's like a New York, New Jersey thing.
Oh,
yeah.
what?
Literally, look, Nikki, I'm telling you, I'm blown away because I thought they were far, but literally, my son, he's like, "Okay, I got tickets for you and Mari. We're gonna go this day. We'll spend the night. We'll stay in the Airbnb because I want to take pictures in front of the Eiffel Tower." I'm like, nah, fuck that shit. I gotta get my Eiffel Tower on. Fuck that bullshit. So like, because I'm never going back. I'm never going back.
You might as well go.
I'm never going back to Europe. So I'm literally lining up for me to go to like 5 different countries while I'm there. I'll be there about 12 days. I'm gonna get 5 countries. Because I ain't going back to this motherfucker. It's a bunch of white people. So I love these motherfuckers, but I don't want to see them again.
Europe
is very white.
I go hold you. You, God, I can't call you Uncle Ruckus, but you something, brother. That's
Europe is very white. So I was like, fucking, I'm gonna have fun while I'm there. But
no. I got you. I feel you on that. It's just yeah.
I know this is what I'm saying, Jay. I know no matter what, as long as I'm alive, I will never go back to Europe again. So I'm literally telling my wife, we got to do 5 countries in this motherfucker now, because I will never set foot on this continent again.
Then you hate New Zealand.
I just have no desire to be there.
Right.
I don't want to go now. But I'm like, I want to see my grandkids.
Yeah.
And they're there. So
and like I said, you sound like my father when you said it. Like, I want to see my grandkids. Like, that sounds exactly like my freaking father.
Yeah.
He was that.
I want to go.
Yeah.
All right, folks.
I understand.
Go ahead, Carl.
No, I'm saying I'm about to cut off because my battery about to kill. So, great conversation, man. We had a good time, good topic for discussion tonight. And I'm glad I was able to join the panel tonight.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing your story about that situation with your bank, because hopefully that information was good and useful to somebody, and hopefully they can use it.
Absolutely. All right,
always,
folks.
brother.
All right, brother. You be safe.
Be still and be safe. And see you guys next time. Love you all.
Love you.
All right, brother.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta answer Nikki's question real quick. Actually, remember you asked me like what made me want to like actually start traveling? That's what you asked?
My specific question was, and that I actually have to get out of here because I am starving and I can't focus anymore. So my question.
Hey man, spoken like a real sister.
Listen here. We are a panel of clowns. I'm loving that you're enjoying us. So you're welcome back anytime. But no. So my question to you was, what specifically made you think, oh, I want to go to, did you say Korea? Was it?
Japan.
Oh, it was Japan.
To Japan. Yeah. So what was it specifically about Japan that made you say, yes, that's where I want to go?
Okay, you guys will find it hard to believe, but we had a foreign exchange student program, and we had there was this boy named Maya. And funny, I had 2 of them come after the year after, which is funny. I had a boy come first for a whole year, then a girl came next year, and we end up one of my friends right now. So he ended up talking to me about Japan and things like that, where he's from. He's like, I'm in Shibuya, like, my family from originally from the country, but moved over from Shibuya. From Yokohama to there, and I was amazed at what he was telling me because because anime was a big thing over here at this time for me. But I think what I really liked, what like tinged it, was about like how everybody treats each other over there. It was the community, what I was being told. When when both my best friends, two of my best friends got, they decided to go to the military, because they thought because they didn't know where they'd be stationed at, but 3 months they called me later like, yo, bro, we got, bro, both me and Ricky got a chance to go to the station in Japan, bro. We're going to Okinawa. Awesome. And the things, the things, and they relayed the information back to me about what's over there. They're like, bro, you gotta come over here, dude. It's like, dude, we're stationed over here. We're still doing our drills, and me and Rick are on our best behavior. We're not clowns. We're good dudes, because they actually the military actually disciplined them real good, because they were not goofballs when they were. I promise you, you wouldn't believe these dudes like turn out to be decent men, like literally. I'm like, because they were without a father particularly, but the military helped them with that, asking some guidance and some strictness. And they told me, like, bro, we've changed so much. It's just like I realized, like, yo, man, there's more to life, and then things just in the streets. This actually has helped me. And also being in Japan, these people are so. That's what these people are so nice. It's all about a community over there, like a unity over there. And if you live in a certain place, a prefecture is like a state in Japan. Let you know, prefectures are states. So if you live in a so that's something I study, y'all. Like I said, pay attention. To anybody who goes anywhere, that might be somewhere else, not just Japan only. But like if it's like a state, and if you live in a community, particularly there, all the community meetings, all that, every neighbor helps each other out with whatever. Like it'd be like, yo, listen, we're having a festival over in our town. People like in the neighborhood, they contribute and help out. And actually plan for that stuff. That's not just something they do on a whim. They plan for it. But everybody's involved and everybody helps one another. They keep the community clean, no trash on the streets, none of that. When I heard all that, I was like, bro, like, how much money? I said, how much money do I need to get over there?
You know what?
That's what the first thing was on mine. And he said, yeah. And then that's when I started saving. And I was like, right after I graduated college, they hit me up about that, and I started saving since.
Wow.
And then it went from me, because I had a fascination with anime. I decided to learn Japanese language. I started from that, and then I got told that you should be a teacher over there from one of my boys, from the mentor that I met later on, Toga 64, the one that Lo I told him about just now. And it's like, you should do that, because over there, they care about education. I'm not saying America they don't, but over here it's just a different story. But it's just like, they're willing to listen to you. And I said, I would like to do graduate course classes. I want to be a professor. I want to be an actual teacher, one where it's not creepy or weird that a man is teaching people, people's things. And also, there's no stigma on there over there. The only thing is over there, can you actually speak in language over there? And that's where you got to show your mettle and like, hey man, show the smarts. Because if you speak the language, they will listen to you. And also, and yes, they're interested in you because you're a different skin tone. I know what Rico said, like things over there, but they care to know more about you. They're not like Korea, where like there's kind of like stereotypes based off of American media that they see over there. Japan, they kind of keep it like all exclusively. We let what we want over here. So yeah, China, they're really good at that, because they delete whatever they think they need to delete. Because if it's detrimental to the society, they'll get rid of it. And I blame them. But that's kind of what started me to want to travel off rip, because of that. And it's like I would like to live a life like that. But the thing is, I also know that I have to put in work and I have to do all this stuff. I'm gonna have to go through the freaking grinder in order to get over it, but also to get to the things I need to get the tools I need to get over there. But also to living a lasting long life, I have to have something stable. So I'm not going in with like, oh, I could just make it on my own. I'm like, I'm not going in with a nonsense idea. I'm like, I got people backing me up. I got brothers helping me. And let me not keep this panel long for too long, but like there was a lot of stuff that went into this decision, to where I'm like, the only time I would come back home is if my mother, father, my aunt, and that's it. No one else can ask me for anything. So right. I mean that I'm gonna be that type of guy. So I have to be that way, because when I have my wife and kids, they come first. Regardless of anything, I don't care.
Absolutely.
And plus, like my two military brothers have wife and kids now. They said the only time they come back is for their mother and father, of course, for their parents, so they can see their grandkids. Similar to what Joe's doing right now. So yeah. Things like that. And I'm just trying to keep a positive head on. And like I said, it's not about women for me. It's about my peace of mind of what I'm trying to build for myself. So that's what I'm going for.
I love it. And I think for me, it sounds like you're going to have a fantastic time for many reasons. You're going for the right reasons. You're going for, reasons of wanting to educate yourself even more, an opportunity to practice the language in person. I mean, I think that right there is going to be
the best practice is talking to the people in the face to face. And that's why I tell people there's no better practice than the real thing. With that. We gotta throw you. Hey, listen, Rico, you gotta throw him into the. Listen, you gotta throw him in the. Listen, you gotta throw him in the fryer, bro. You gotta and see if he starts learning. I know that's not. Hey, listen, that sounds very evil what I just said, but it is what it is.
I agree.
You don't let him out. Let him stay for a while. He gotta cook. So yeah.
But you know,
I know Nikki, you're hungry, but go get your food, sister.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. My food is actually coming on the way. But we was talking, I'm like, damn, I'm hungry too. I gotta order something.
But you know what, Jay? This was a good conversation. We needed it. We needed your voice. We needed Lou's voice. We needed all the voices. And I love the way, like you said, you always come to the panel. You hit it with your perspective. You hit with a different angle that, like, okay, I'm not thinking about. You know what I'm saying? Again, you're always thinking about it from that, that Asia angle. I'm like, oh shit, I don't think about it because I just don't think about it. Because it's hard for anybody to keep everything in their head. I keep what little bit information I got in my head. Nikki keep what she has in her head. You keep, and it's good because then when I'm not, like, every time I always speak about it, I'm speaking about from the Caribbean or I'm speaking about from Central America. I'm never speaking about from Asia because I ain't been there. I haven't been there. That's not my space. That's not even a space that I've studied that much. I know a little bit about it only because I have a vested interest in my grandchildren. But I'm not widely versed in it like you are. You're studying it all. So when people come to me like Japan, I'm like, fuck you asking me for? Go ask Jay. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. It's like, I know the little bit of shit I know, but I gotta send you the people that know because it's not my wheelhouse.
Jay, do you have a YouTube channel, by the way?
I do. And you know what? I think I'm gonna make another one at one point. I think when I do go to Japan, I am going to make I'm gonna make it. Well, I think when I've decided this. When I'm 3 years in Japan, I am gonna make a channel called Tokyo J. Is what I plan on making.
Start vlogging.
It's just gonna be a vlog. Is what it's gonna be.
And you're gonna vlog and show and everything because that's what we need.
Well, certain places I'm gonna show, but I'm not gonna be those streamers over there who are disrespectful.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about the booty shit, but it's the fact that we need people over there. Like I said earlier. I need young Black brothers and sisters to travel all over the world and to show the world. I don't know Japan. I don't. Never been. I've been through it, through the airport, got back on another plane and went some fucking where else. I touched down and spent time. I touched down and spent time in Korea and Guam, but it's like the rest of Asia. I don't know the Philippines. I don't know Thailand. I don't know Taiwan. All those other Malaysia. All those like. So I need brothers that's going to go there and do what you're going to do.
So let me ask you.
And like I said, I have run into brothers like that. Go ahead, Nikki. I'll
say really quickly. So you're planning to document this from the very beginning, right? From like getting on the plane.
Day one, like day one, what I did, at least here's what I'm going to do. I will make the channel after 3 years, but I'm going to be vlogging and saving those. And then I'll be posting. And then by day one, you'll have day ones all the way to like you'll probably have like 3 videos or 5 videos to cover the month of what I did when I got here. I'm gonna be revealing information like crazy, and I'm gonna be giving every freaking thing that I did, like literally, like the important stuff that you need to hear, and also, and like I said, it won't be so bad. But the thing is, I kind of want to be a fish out of water because, trust me, you start thinking when you're not in the space that you're so comfortable being in. I'm not saying I won't be uncomfortable there, but the thing is, when you're in a new environment, and I'm pretty sure I did this with the DR or El Salvador, wherever you guys are at over there, like your brain starts racing, and trust me, the best thing you don't want to do is overthink a lot of shit, right? And that is going to happen, and it's just like Just Jay, chill. You've already practiced this. Go where you go to, and then you can freak out.
Right.
Because I ain't gonna lie. The kid in me probably wants to jump high. Once I get in that hotel, just go crazy for a good minute. I'm like, I did it. I made it in Japan. I'm gonna have one of them moments, and I'm like, and then it's gonna sink in. I'm like, now it's time to get to work.
Right.
So
that's exactly
things like that.
I wilded out like the first couple of weeks when I very first got to DR. I partied like every freaking day, and I had the time of my life. But here's the thing, my situation was a little bit different from yours because I went there to meet my fiance at the time. So I had a guide. I had somebody that, but
congratulations on that.
Well, yeah, but this last time that I went back as a single person. I didn't get married to that person. So this last trip back was really kind of like similar to what you're going to be experiencing, because this time coming back, I was in a different environment and meeting different people and people that were not his family and things like that. So I still kind of got that experience. But listen, I am starving. I would love to continue the conversation, but I'm getting hangry. So I'm gonna let you guys.
Same here, sister.
Yeah. It's been great talking to you, Jay. I'm excited to hear your journey and watch your journey as well. And I'm sure that we'll meet again, and we'll certainly have you back on the show again as well. We appreciate.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys for giving me a space to actually speak and things like that. Like I said, you're not the only channel I speak to about this, but this is one of the most wholesome ones that I come to, especially brother International. Before I talk to him a lot. We just got done talking about a guy from Japan over there and like his experience. Another brother just experienced it and came back to America, and he has a different perspective on things now. So it's just like and like I said, walked away with some information what he's telling me too. So that's why these streams are important. That's what I'm saying. Overall important. Absolutely. Now let's go all eat, guys. Let's eat and get the heck up out of here, as Rico would say.
Yes.
I'm gonna take you down. Have a good night. Have a great night.
All right, so let me just say this, Nikki. Great stream. I hope everybody enjoyed the El Salvador videos. I put them out just to give you guys a perspective of some different travel. And it is my intention that, when I travel to Europe and other, throughout Europe, to try to, I'm working better. And again, I apologize for my horrible fucking videoing, but I'm getting better. Actually, I have a gimbal. So my videoing technique should be 1,000 times better, but believe it or not, I paid for this fucking technology and I ain't figured out how to use it. I promise in the next 10 days to get this shit figured out. And we're going to get some great videos, some great content. I'm going to try to sit there and share with the channel. So with that, I appreciate your patience with me. And I hope you guys be a little bit patient with me more. And there'll be more videos to come. Until then, God bless. Happy Single Day Mayo, you black Mexicans.
Bye, crazy. Okay, all right, you guys. Great show today. I am about to go and eat. And also, I want to leave you guys with two things. I never do this, but today I'm feeling the energy, and I really want to say this. I want to leave you with two things. The first thing I want to leave you with is never let anyone's opinion of you change your opinion of you. That's first. Second thing I want to leave you with, the only opinion that matters about you is your opinion about you. All right. Love you guys. We'll see you next week. Mwah!